Hello. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Donna Adelson's Motion in Limine, renewed Motions in Limine hearing on this day of March 27th, 2025. She is being transported to Leon County Courthouse, where she will show her face once more in front of Big Judge E. Where are we? We're just prepping. We're just prepping. Let's get our document up here. We've got about 8 minutes before the show. Okay, let's get this. Let's get the let's get the chat going on the screen here. Welcome everybody in chat. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the Metrix chat. Pop out chat. Grab our little link over here. Good, good, good. So how's everybody doing? Is everybody looking forward to this? It's really heating up, right? There's at least one more hearing on May 16th. That's going to be the pre-trial conference. The defense are possibly going to be firing some additional motions in limine before then, so we may have a chock-a-block schedule. Kaza T was first in chat. Well done, Kaza. We're a little bit more on a UK-friendly time frame tonight because we're going live. Okay, let's go to, all right, let's get the video up so we make sure we don't miss nothing. We're gonna hide our puppy. Move our chat over here. Oh. Why can't I make things smaller? What is going on with that? Try this again. Nope. The fuck? All right, let's interact. Let's get that rolling.
Every morning as my family gathers, I'm reminded of the warmth and
I tell you, this is great running the broadcast with two monitors, man. What a difference. I think we should get three. Is that even possible? Can we do that? If we find that new supercomputer, maybe we can keep this laptop for a chat computer, and then we'll have the supercomputer with an additional monitor. Then we'll have three screens. You should see the Metrix Studio now. It actually looks like a professional situation. I can't believe it. Almost. We're certainly getting there. Okay, so the weather in Salt Lake, Nevada, and Utah. That'll come in handy. Whoa. Hello, Amanda Chapman, for 10 coffees. Thank you so much, Amanda. 4,000 subs, go Metrix. We all love you. I love all of you, all 4,028 of you. Okay. We're still climbing. We don't stop at 4K. We want that doubled by the end of the month. 8K. That will be something to celebrate, right? What about 10? Nice round number 10. Five-digit number. That is the new Metrix goal. Could we do it before trial? Could we do it before Donna's trial in just 2 months and what about 2 weeks? Nice thumbnail. Yeah, Derek, listen, I am taking your advice on the Metrix intro video. I'm working on that little bit by bit by bit, But man, we've had some new content come into the studio today, so I've just been working on making that look pretty for y'all. We'll be releasing that post haste. So make sure you're subscribed to check that out. We've got more in the pipeline every day, huh? Every goddamn day. I wanted to read this document, but I can't make this smaller. Oh, what is that? That is coffee alerts. Well, we need that. Shit. It's okay. I mean, we've got the document right here. Defendant Donna Adelson. Let's just keep an eye on the time, okay? Defendant Donna Adelson, by and through the undersigned counsel, pursuant to sections 9090. Blah blah blah, Florida statute, renews her request that this honorable court prohibit the state from questioning. Honorable court should not be capitalized there, okay? It's not called the honorable court. Fucking hell, am I wrong here or what? Honorable court should not be capitalized in this sentence, okay? Fucking idiots. They're trying to like, oh yeah, that shows respect. No, it shows you have poor attention to detail, bad knowledge of written English. Fucking morons. Prohibit the state from questioning Wendi Adelson about the storyline of her book, and in support thereof state as follows. Mrs. Adelson has been indicted in the case with 1 count of first-degree murder, 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and 1 count of solicitation of first-degree murder. 2. Prior defense counsel moved to prohibit the state from questioning Wendi Adelson about the storyline of her book, This Is Our Story. On September 6, 2024, the court denied this prong of the August 12th, 2024 motion in limine, ruling that the state could use the storyline for purposes of impeachment. 3. Current counsel renews the motion in limine as additional facts were not previously known and or addressed. 4. During the August 30th, 2024 hearing, the state argued, I think in reference to the book, this is the one I kind of flip-flop on, because I went back and looked at how it came up last time, which was that Wendi Adelson denied wanting to relocate, denied being disappointed about losing her motion in court to relocate, and that if, of course, the state's theory as the main motive behind the crime the main motive behind the crime was that she was wanting to relocate to South Florida. And I thought at the time that testimony opened the door to her having written a clearly autobiographical book about a woman just like herself, married to a man just like Dan Markel, who's utterly miserable and stuck in the you see the way that's they're quoting a spoken word, so that's fine. Miserable and stuck in a place that she's living in. So if the testimony goes that way this time, I can imagine a scenario where I might want to ask about that. Let's just double check our video. Oh, getting close. See, I just want to make this smaller so I can overlay it, but it's not letting me for some reason. 3. The petition for dissolution of marriage was filed September 10th, 2012. The motion for temporary relocation and amended petition adding the court for relocation was filed on January 14th, 2013. The petition for relocation was denied on June 18th, 2013. 6. The evidence establishes that Miss Adelson's book was originally published on September 15th, 2011. 7. Even assuming the storyline of Miss Adelson's book is autobiographical, how Miss Adelson felt about being stuck in Tallahassee at the time she wrote the book is not relevant to how she felt after her petition for relocation was denied or during the time of the alleged conspiracy. 8. Presumably, Miss Adelson did not start writing the book in September 2011. Rather, it is significantly more logical that Miss Adelson wrote the book over a period of time which concluded in September 2011, making it even more remote in time to the denial of her petition for relocation. 9. As a result, even if marginally relevant, it does not survive a section 90403 Florida statutes analysis as is probative value is substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice, confusion of issues, misleading the jury. Double check our feed. Okay. Wherefore, the defendant, Donna Adelson, respectfully requests that this honourable court grant the motion in limine. So he's decided to capitalize motion in limine here as well, whereas before he doesn't. I mean, just, do you not proofread anything, man? You know, you write this stuff, you put it into the court, you're fucking capitalizing stuff that doesn't need capitalizing and shouldn't be capitalized in the context, and then you're mixing. Sometimes you capitalize motion in limine, sometimes you don't. I mean, what's wrong with you, man? This is a serious fucking official document, and it should be checked. Prohibit the state from questioning Miss Wendi Adelson about the storyline of her book, and for such further relief as is just and proper. Certificate of good faith conference. The other side's, oh, where's our thing? So basically what they're saying, blah, 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 that's all just guff. Basically what they're saying is that the state is arguing that Wendy's book is semi-autobiographical and indicative of her disdain and hatred of living in Tallahassee, which would feed in to the conspiracy of the Adelsons to order the murder of Dan Markel and facilitate her move to South Florida because she hated Tallahassee so much. And of course, the defense counsel is saying that's ridiculous. The book is not autobiographical. And two, it was written before the petition was denied. And not only was it was published before the petition was denied, but obviously it's logical that she didn't just write it in a day and publish it the same day. She wrote it over an amount of time that concluded in, was it September 2011, I think. Can't remember. I'm not going to check. Making it even more remote. So, I mean, if she hated Tallahassee in the past, she might hate Tallahassee in the future when her petition did get denied. They're not going to get this. The book's coming in. Judge Everett is going to rule, and the book is coming in. The state will be allowed to bring it up to the jury. That's my bet. What about you? What do you think? What does chat think? Should we do a poll? Will Judge Everett allow the book to be prohibited? That's, will Judge Everett prohibit will Judge Everett prohibit the state from questioning Wendi about her book? Yes, no. Should we put another answer on it? What could be the other answer? I suppose Judge Everett could say they're allowed to mention it, but not go into specific detail. Let's just keep it simple and say yes and no. Okay, there's a poll just been created, guys. Please vote on the poll. What does chat think? Should also create our goal, eh? Let's create a True Crime Metrix goal. We want to get that website going. Well, to call it a website isn't really enough. I mean, it's going to be a fabulous free resource. where we can save everything to do with the cases we cover and cases we don't cover. I mean, you know, work has already started on it, so it's going to be great. How can we phrase this in the goal though? And information library. That sounds really shit, but whatever. It's going to be great. If you want to support the goal, you can. If you don't, it doesn't matter. You know? Uh-oh. Okay, we are sourcing. They're either late or WCTV could possibly not be putting it up. That would be disappointing. Bear with us, guys. We've got our mole underground looking for the treasure. Hmm. Mm, we're gonna locate that. I mean, if we grab the link direct, it's only a short hearing. It's going to be about half an hour. I think they said 45 minutes tops. But yeah, motions in limine. What else have we got coming out soon for Donna Adelson? Let's go to the wiretaps. You know, Wendy's book. I still got to get that out of the car and start reading it. Actually, I thought of a really nice way that we could go through Wendy's book chapter by chapter, raising points for discussion, looking, we all know the case so well. I think a couple of people that are in the true crime metrics community have actually read the Wendi Adelson's This Is Our Story book cover to cover. I haven't, and I'm not looking forward to doing so for reading pleasure. But I would like to go through it, just with how much that I and you have absorbed information about the case and try and find other things. Try and find other things because, we all know this case just as much as Georgia Kappelman, almost. I mean, she will obviously have information that we don't know yet. Keep that all under the table, close to the chest. But yeah, we'll be going through the book. Yeah, I know. I just saw that riding shotgun. Joel from Surviving the Survivor is also looking for the link. But there's no rush. I mean, I'm free. I'm free all night. If we have to wait until the on-demand version comes up just after the hearing, so be it. So be it. The point is that we're here, we're together, and we're talking about the Adelson case, specifically the Donna Adelson motion in limine for precluding Wendi Adelson's book from being brought up by the prosecution. Why? Well, the defense contends that would be fairly prejudicial to uh, the light that is seen on Donna Adelson. For me, it's not prejudicial at all. It's a worthy and relevant piece of evidence, right? Just the same as Jeff Lacasse saying every night she would go on about how much she hated Tallahassee, how much the people were nothing, how much she was better than the people from Tallahassee, how the movie theater in Miami was better than the one in Tallahassee. You're on a date with, um, as I certainly don't think that Wendi Adelson is beautiful, but Jeff seemed to at the time, partly because he was just taken in by those big shiny whites and that sexuality, that sexual charisma. That's her thing, isn't it? Sexual charisma that masquerades as some sort of virtuous, good girl, graduate high school a virgin, and then bring that up in your podcast about your murdered husband. I think my mother was proudest that I graduated high school a virgin. Well, if that was the thing that she was proudest of, I mean, to me, that says that there wasn't much else to be proud of. And how the fuck would Donna know? Yeah. Should we do another poll on whether or not Wendi Adelson graduated high school a virgin? Because I find that difficult to believe, especially in the 80s. I don't suppose she would have graduated in the fucking 80s. When is she born? 79? I think she's born in 79. Well, the 90s were even worse or better, depending depending on your angle. The 90s weren't bad, actually, were they? I mean, pretty good. Does everyone think that about the decade where they were kind of, you know, their decade? I'm born in 87, so you got to say that I'm a 90s a 90s boy. But if I was born in 67, I'd be a 70s boy, right? I mean, I think that's the same for everyone. It's like the decade that you're. Let's go to the comments. Nola Vine says the two. That's chilly, but I prefer extreme cold to the extreme heat. Well, how about just not extreme either way? The humidity has been unusually high. You must be in the northern hemisphere. Yeah, like most people on Earth. Uh, yeah, Paul M said she was disappointed Wendy wasn't dating more too. We know that's bullshit. Absolutely. Everything she says is bullshit. I mean, that's her whole thing. I think my mother was disappointed. I'm pretty busy with the kids, pretty busy with the boys. I was in full mommy mode. Oh, hmm. So, Amy, when do you think that'll be? I tell you what, while we're waiting, guys, we can put on some wiretap calls. Yeah, that'll be fun. Let's go to the wiretaps. Don't take my word for it. What have we got here? Let's have a look. 7 minutes 20. That sounds like a good one. Um, all right, here we go.
Hey,
What happened?
somebody called my dad's office
Mm-hmm.
today looking for him, saying
Okay.
that they dropped off some paperwork to them last
Mm-hmm.
week. There was a phone number on there, and actually the person left a message with Erica, and then Erica called my mom up because she's like, normally I wouldn't call you up, but I had a strange phone call. I was like, yeah.
Uh-huh. Where's the phone number that they're calling from, though?
I can ask Erica, but Erica said a guy by the name of Sammy called the office this morning saying that I left some paperwork with Dr. Adelson last week, and I left a number on there, and he needs to call me at that number.
Bro, somebody's like fucking pulling your bones and shit.
Well, this is the third. This is the third.
Call the number. Call the number, because I'm about to call my fucking phone.
It's someone who wants to be called back. Let's put it that way. Do you still have the number?
Yeah, well, obviously that number, nobody picks me up.
Well,
That's not a working number. It's like a Gmail number.
nobody's pulling the leg. I'm just asking you to find out who the fuck it is.
It's like, get that number that's off of the number, off of the freaking caller ID.
At the office?
Yes, obviously. Because this is like a fucking bullshit game.
Well, they're not coming out on foot. They're not writing letters, and they're not calling the office because they have nothing better to do.
Well, I don't know what to tell you because I called that number myself.
Okay. Well, let's call that number again and find out what the fuck's going on.
And nobody picks up. And even tried another number and left a message.
Okay. Well, I'm
trying to get whoever's threatening your family and helping you guys out and trying to help you guys out, but it's like if they don't pick up, like what the fuck?
I understand.
It's like it's a fucking joke.
I understand.
It's a fucking joke. It's a wobbling joke. I mean, she's trying to say, like, she's trying to distance herself, right, Katie? And to be like, yeah, I'm trying to help your family to do a good deed, because that's what I do. I help families and I do good deeds. I don't know what this is about.
That they fucking called this morning and they're waiting for the phone call. That's what I'm telling you. And since it's 3 times,
get the number or whatever that is that's calling you or your
305
or whatever it is.
6570. Do you have the number?
Exactly. That number is obviously it's like a non-working number.
Okay. Can you find out?
Okay, and then it's like I don't fucking understand. It's either somebody's pulling your bones, somebody is just harassing you, or somebody's trying to get something out of you.
Okay. Find out who the fuck it is, because the other phone call is going to be the FBI. I'm telling you. Well, I'm telling you, and then when they do catch the person.
Spacey Dove says, Metrix, the 70s were the best, hands down. Yeah, I mean, depending on where you were and what you were doing, good music available for sure.
They're going to be asking him lots of questions about who Katie is.
We already spoke about this. It's like not even like a fucking joke anymore. Because
it's not a fucking joke,
it's like
Katie.
Somebody's
it's not.
harassing you guys, and somebody's harassing and using my name, and it's like
okay,
you
so
can
want
like
to
that.
Well, Katie, think it through. Find out who the fuck it is. That's all I'm asking you.
No, I'm gonna call straight from my fucking cell phone because it's fucking bullshit and fucking somebody's trying to fucking pinpoint some bullshit. Like it's getting aggravating.
Yeah, it is. All I'm saying is find out who the fuck it is and tell them to stop playing their games. I don't know who you have to talk to, but it needs to be nipped in the bud before.
No, man, I'm gonna handle.
Okay, here's an update on the live stream, guys. It has finished, so it was a very short hearing, just 20 minutes or so, less. And I'm just waiting to see if Court TV is going to put up the on-demand version straight away. Sometimes they do that, and then we'll play it here together. You know, I tell you what, Court TV is missing such a trick, huh? Or whoever, Law and Crime Network, whoever it is, how could you not make sure that the millions of people that want to see this content, I mean, you know, broadcast this, forget everything else. Vinny, whatever your name is, Patuni, what's his name? Vinny Patuni, get your head in the game, man.
Shit myself, bro, because it's some fucking bullshit. I'm gonna handle it my motherfucking self. Well, straight my motherfucking number. If
I'm gonna handle it my motherfucking self. What are you gonna do, Katie? What exactly are you gonna do apart from phone people and bitch and moan and swear? You know, they just made a big mistake. Gonna get fucked in the ass, motherfucker. I'm gonna handle it my motherfucking self. I mean, explain. You know, what is your plan apart from just being a loudmouth? You know.
if Erica wants to call back, be like, oh, is this the right number? Okay, I have your fucking whatever fucking shit taken care of. Okay, because this is fucking bullshit.
Find out.
That's threats, bro. I'm about to go to that fucking FBI. I'm fucking getting irate with this shit already. It's either the FBI fucking playing games or fucking whatever it is because I'm fucking getting pissed.
All right, we'll find out. All I'm saying is,
you gave a wrong phone number.
Okay.
You're an idiot. You gave a fucking wrong number. Get the fucking number the fucking call because.
Okay, so it's not Poutine. It's Politan. Vinny Politan.
I'm gonna call them.
Okay.
And fucking text to me. I don't even fucking give a shit about all these fucking code shit, whatever shit anymore.
Okay.
I'm pissed the fuck off. Like, I'm gonna fucking go to the cops right now.
Okay. Well, either you go to the cops or we go to the cops, or
exactly.
we'll find out. We're
both gonna fucking go to the cops because this is fucking bullshit.
We'll find out who the fuck this is, because this person evidently knows you and knows your family. And they know me and they know my family.
And you don't think that fucking scares the shit out of me? Like somebody fucking.
How much is Pat Sanford loving listening to this in the van with the big headphones? I mean, Charlie's pretty much, I mean, not directly threatening her. He's reminding her that there is a threat and that she has a vested interest. It's not just helping him, right? Evidently, this person knows who you are and knows who your family is, and they could do anything. You know, it's all very dark. I mean, Charlie doesn't know if Katie's blabbed. Katie doesn't know if Charlie is trying to trap her. I mean, there's no honor amongst thieves and evidently no honor amongst murder conspirators.
Saying my name out loud,
well,
whatever.
Katie, someone's messing with you. They're messing with me. Someone's messing with me. They're messing with you. It's one and the same. So what I'm saying is, find out.
Georgia loves that line.
That number doesn't fucking work. If you can get a hold, you go to different offices, call the motherfucking number. See if the fucking number works. Bottom line.
Bottom line. Bottom wobble line.
Call them, find out.
Wobbly bottom line.
Trust me on this.
Wobble bottom line. She actually, I mean, she is annoying, but I like the way that she annoys me. Bottom line.
Find out who the fuck it is.
Get the number, listen to me, and get the number and stop playing around with his games because it was so long ago. I'm with your parents to the fucking FBI. Where the fuck?
Katie really never, ever developed past senior high, did she? I mean, this is the exact way that she was talking when she was 17 years old, right? Playing games, bottom line, wobble, bottom line.
Doing this shit and fucking go and fucking report whoever's harassing.
All right,
That's
Katie.
it.
Katie, I got to get back to the patient. Do you have the number I gave you the other day?
I have the fucking number.
Okay,
and I
good.
Told you,
Call it.
You don't listen. I called the number.
I know you.
It's not a working number.
Good.
Get the number that calls your fucking office.
Okay.
Listen to me for once.
I will. You want me to call
Yes,
Erica?
fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck up whoever the fuck you fucking with.
Whoa, whoa.
I'm going to call my mom.
That just went up a gear.
Listen,
Check that
I
out.
called the number.
Fucking A, bro.
I know you.
It's not a working number.
Good.
Get the number that calls your fucking office.
Okay.
Listen to me for once.
I will. You want me to call
Yes,
Erica?
fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck up whoever the fuck you fucking with me.
I'm going to call my.
Fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck off whoever fucked with me. Fuck you. Yeah, no, you can always tell someone's tough when they use the word fuck 15 times in one sentence, right? That's how you know that you shouldn't mess with someone.
My mom and have my mom call the
Get
office.
the fucking number. Because
Which
now
number?
your fucking parents, that number's been called, and that's not a working number. So it's either somebody's playing games, somebody's tapping into some shit, and somebody's just trying to fucking aggravate somebody.
Okay, let me
And I'm
repeat this to you.
aggravated.
Yeah, it could be that, Katie, or it could be the FBI who are listening to this call right now.
Want me to have Erica go on the caller ID and look to see what number that was that
Get
called?
the fucking number. Obviously, they're calling from somewhere else. If it's
Do you think Charlie's having any reservations right now about who he involved in his murder conspiracy? Is this coming off as the smooth, cool professional that he envisaged all those months ago? Do you know anyone who can rough someone up? We need to layer this thing. We need layers, okay? I'm layer one, and then you're the next layer, and then you will have a third layer, all right? And those layers are the ones that are going to go to the Tallahassee layer, okay? And into Markel's lair.
not the same number that you said, how about you call and find out?
Okay, do me a favor. Try that number I gave you the other day, and I'm going to call my mom and tell her to call Erica and ask her to look it up on the caller ID. Okay?
Get it.
But
All right.
call it.
Whatever.
Well, that was fun. Let's go and see if Court TV have got their shit together yet. Oh, Judge Everett's coming back. What should we do, guys, while we're waiting? Should we just wait? Should we wait here together and play another call? Might as well. What else have we got? How about this one?
Hi, thanks for calling your 24-hour Walgreens. Para continuar en español, oprima 9. Are you calling to check on the status of a prescription order? Just say yes or no.
Speak to a pharmacy.
Sorry, just say yes or no.
Okay, so
No.
Katie's calling a pharmacy.
Okay, then you can say pharmacy, photo, health
Pharmacy.
clinic. Okay, you can say refill, prescription status, pharmacy hours, or say help me with something else.
Something else.
Okay, I'm connecting you to someone who can help. Just a reminder, the pharmacy's open 24 hours a day, 7 days.
I know that this is a little bit out of the context, guys, but I really like this about the case where we've got these murder calls, find out who it is, blah, blah, blah. And then just in the middle, we've got Katie on the phone with an automated fucking pharmacy helpline. Just for contrast, you know? Fucking A, bro. Bottom line. Bottom line. Yes. No. Pharmacy. Yes.
a week, so you can stop by anytime you like.
For quality and training purposes, your call may be recorded.
That's Pharmacy Signature Wendi. How can I help you today?
Hi, I don't know if you guys transferred me to the main location, the Walgreens in Biscayne and 125th by the Causeway, because the guy hung up on me and I was on hold for like 5 minutes.
I apologize about that, ma'am. Would you like to be reconnected?
Yes, please.
Okay, give me just one moment while I connect you over. You may have to repeat your request.
Thank you.
Please remain on the line to speak with a member of our staff. We're sorry, our staff is answering other calls. Please hold on and we'll be with you shortly. We're sorry, our staff is answering other calls. Please hold on and we'll be with you shortly. We're sorry, our staff is answering other calls. Please hold on and we'll be with you shortly.
We'll go to another one.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Oh, hola. Bien, bien.
¿Qué te pasa?
Ay, Dios mío.
Carmen, pata sucia.
Muy sucios zapatos.
¿Qué te pasa?
I'm driving down to Miami at like 12.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hang out a little bit, and then maybe I'll give you a shout, and we'll grab a beer or something on the way back.
It's right here, 20 miles, so there's a lot of things around here.
All right, they got good food over there?
Yeah, and you're taking Charles in charge.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'll probably be heading back maybe 2:33ish.
Yeah, I'll be here.
What's your availability? Like, at what time can you not hang out after?
I will be available whenever you need me.
Okay.
Not in any
So
way.
I'm gonna head. I'm hoping to get out of there around 2:30 or 3.
Okay.
And then if that's the case, then I'll be heading up at that time.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. I'll hit you up in a little bit then.
Hey, you never heard about anything about those?
About the mooring?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've only called 8 times, and I'll give you the number too.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
No.
It's gonna be
my present anyway, so I'm going to take care of it wherever you guys go. I just wanted that place because I thought it would be the nicest.
Yeah, but that's just so weird that they haven't like even responded to you.
Well, this is the thing. It's the owner's cottage. That's not even available for rent. So what happens is the owner just keeps it, so when he has friends, when he has family, when he has guests, he just says, hey, stay at my cottage for free. And then because I've stayed there so long and I've wanted a great time when the whole place has been booked, they've let me rent that. The nice thing about it is it's not like, it's not, like if you look on their website, I don't even think they have Vera's cottage. It's just his. But when he's not using it, he'll rent it for like $380 a night. Which, if you could be there for a day and a half, it's a fucking awesome deal. Because everything else on the property is like $1,200 a night.
Yeah.
It's just stupid at that point.
Yeah.
So that's why. I mean, I called up, but
there's one down the road.
What's that?
Like only like 150 or 140 a night or 144 or something.
While we're waiting, guys, I'm just going to play a bit of Donna on the Stand. Because I only watched that once with y'all, and let's just renew our memory.
Thank you. Let's resume with the suppression portion at this time. Does the defense have any other witnesses or evidence it wishes to present as it relates to the burden in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor. Defense will call Donna Adelson.
Please come up to the witness stand, Ms. Adelson. Witness stand. Yeah. Please raise your right hand as best as you can. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? Yes. You may take the seat.
Yeah, 100%.
Please speak loudly and clearly. You may examine Mr. Zellman when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a moment.
Just for clarification, this is not today's hearing. This hearing is the previous one from, oh, I forget the date. Well, about a month ago. I guess it was February 26th, wasn't it? This is the February 26th hearing where Donna takes the stand and tells us about eating spaghetti and potatoes.
Good morning.
But we are waiting for today's hearing to be posted on a reputable channel that we can use.
Please state your name for the record and make sure you speak in the microphone.
Yes, Donna Adelson.
Now, I want to direct your attention, we heard the call earlier. The call on November 7th of 2023 at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and for the record, that was call number 561. Do you remember where you were?
Yes, I was in my apartment in my living room.
Do you remember who was present when you got the call?
Yes, my husband Harvey, and friends of mine, my attorney, Susan Brotman, and her husband, Richard Chagrin.
You said your attorney. What kind of law does Ms. Brotman practice? Or did she?
She does estate planning.
Was Ms. Brotman present at your apartment for the purposes of providing you with legal counsel?
Yes, she was.
And do you remember receiving the call from Charlie?
Yes, of course.
And where was Charlie at the time?
So he was in a room by himself. It was after the conviction.
Was he in the jail?
He was in jail.
Okay. What did you do when you saw that Charlie was calling?
Answered the phone.
And you heard the recording that we played earlier?
Yes.
And you agreed for your call with your son to be recorded, correct?
Yes.
As the call was happening, do you know at what point Charlie was no longer on the call?
No, only when because I was talking, and then all of a sudden I asked him something, and I said, "Charlie, do you hear me, Charlie?" And I said it a few times, and he didn't respond anymore, and I knew the call was over.
Now, in the course, during the time that your son was incarcerated in Leon County Jail, did that happen more than,
Yeah, thanks, Kermley. But I heard he had a few issues. I had it on in the background, and the quality wasn't very good. So I want to wait and see if one of the other cameras posts it online. We'll get there. I'm not in a rush. Anyone in a rush? We want the top quality version on this channel.
Was that a frequent occurrence?
Yeah, it happens. It happens a lot, unfortunately.
Okay. And would there be times when you didn't realize at first that he was no longer on the call?
Yes.
Where in your apartment were you when this happened?
So I was in my living room.
And you heard your voice on that first call number 562, when you repeated, Charlie, Charlie, are you there?
Right.
Did you believe the call had ended?
Yes.
And what would, in times prior to this, what would happen after that? What would you do when that would happen?
If he didn't respond anymore, that was it. The call was over.
And what would you do with your phone?
I'd hang up.
Now, same thing with the call on November 8th of 2023, the one at 6:30 in the morning. Do you know at what point your son was no longer on the phone?
I don't. I don't remember the...
In either one of those situations, or in both of those situations, did you believe the call was over?
Yeah, the call was over. He was gone.
And you went about your business?
Yes.
Now, with respect to the November 7th,
Pretty decisive results on this poll at the top of the chat, guys. Will Judge Everett prohibit the state from questioning, spelling error or typo, Wendi about her book? 93% say no. 7% say yes. Have your vote at the top of the chat.
2023 phone call when your attorney or her husband...
I know, she's annoyed with her own lawyer. It's exactly Paul there. I think she's annoyed with anyone who falls short of the Adelson standard, which is higher than the gold standard, higher than the platinum standard, higher than the gold plus platinum standard put together.
Your apartment. Did you agree for your attorney-client conversation to be recorded?
No.
Did you agree for your conversation with your husband to be recorded?
No, of course not.
Now, the following day, did you agree for your subsequent conversation with your husband to be recorded?
No.
Now, you heard the recording. To consent to this call, press 1. Or recording of this call, press 1. Correct?
Correct.
And you hung up the phone after those calls were over.
Thought I did.
Just a moment, Your Honor. Nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
I mean, this whole thing that Donna's doing here, dress rehearsal, right? It was like the rehearsal dinner for someone's wedding. So you get used to where you're going to be, how you're going to stand, what it's going to be like to be questions. Your attorney can see how you act on the stand. Act being the appropriate word because it's all an act. The attorney can then comment and say, well, we like what you did with the shower rape, the thing where you were threatened to have your pearly whites knocked out. We need to change the wording of that because no one talks like that when it's not 1936. Okay. So it's just like, and everyone knows this. Judge Everett knows this. Fucking Sarah Dugan knows this. I mean, Sarah Dugan's having her very own dress rehearsal, right? Not that she needs one, but she does get the opportunity to see what Donna's going with in terms of how she acts on the stand and what she hopes to present to the jury.
Good evening.
So there in the room with you during this call was, you said your one of your attorneys, Susan Brotman, your husband, and then also Susan Brotman's husband.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And he was not your attorney?
He was not.
Your attorney?
No, he's not an attorney.
Okay. You were informed at the beginning of that call, this is the one on November 7th that recorded you while they were all in the room. You were informed that you were being recorded if you accepted that call?
Yes.
Okay. And that if you do not want to be on that recorded call, that you needed to hang up the call. Is that right?
Are you saying, does the recording say?
Right. If you do not want to accept that recorded call, you should hang up.
If you do not, yeah, no, I accepted the recorded call.
Okay. And you typically do hang up.
I mean, it is it is an unusual thing that happened here, isn't it? She was on a jailhouse recorded phone call with her son. At the beginning of the phone call, there is I guess we can call it a disclaimer, where essentially she enters into a verbal contract, right? And what is the word? You know, essentially signs a waiver by verbal. I'm losing my words. Sorry. She enters into a verbal contract, signs a waiver essentially to say, listen, anything I say here can be listened to by cops or anyone to do with the Justice Department and used against me, right? Essentially, I mean, it doesn't go into those details, but she is agreeing to be recorded on this call. There's no wording to that confirmation that says, well, if you think you hung up, then we can't listen to anything else. The call is still active. It's not our responsibility to terminate the call. That's your responsibility. And you obviously didn't press end call. So the fact that you thought the call was over doesn't mean anything. But obviously Donna Adelson probably hadn't been sleeping much, super stressed out with her son getting life in prison, the cops closing in on her, planning to flee to non-extradition country, and everything that Wendy's being a complete bitch and totally distancing herself from her. I mean, high stress situation. You can imagine, missing something, about a call, right? I mean, but so yeah, it's just a really quite an unusual thing that happened. And then the fact that such information came out about fleeing to a non-extradition country and all the rest of it, the asset management and what to do with the finances, etc. I mean, it's clear that her lawyer, her estate planning lawyer, essentially, it's clear that they were not engaged in conversation that was pertaining to that person's role as an estate planning lawyer. They were talking about Vietnam. So, I mean, it's if she'd have gone into a clearly legal orientated conversation, perhaps there would be more of a call for Judge Everett to say, okay, well, that shouldn't be listened to because it was clearly attorney-client privilege. I mean, it's just a very unusual thing. And what a gift. Hot mic Donna. I mean, how could it get worse? Not only were you caught on all of the wiretaps, you ended up wiretapping yourself and broadcasting your plan to law enforcement and all of us publicly online. I mean, this case, As if it didn't have enough going for it, right? Then we get Hot Mike Donna and her subsequent hearing on the matter. What a gift.
Your calls, you said, after your calls with Charlie Adelson.
I'm keeping an eye on all the channels for today's hearing, guys. Don't worry, it's coming.
He was in custody. All right, but this particular call that day, evidently you did not properly hang up, right?
Evidently.
Okay. And have you ever forgotten to press the button on a call before?
I mean, it may have happened. I don't know.
Sure. Has your phone pocket dialed people before?
Know. Has it what?
Pocket dialed people before?
Pocket dialed?
When you've been out of custody.
Pocket dialed?
Right.
I don't know what you mean.
Like if your phone...
You don't know what pocket dialed means? Have you ever dialed someone by accident with your phone in your pocket? That's what it means, yeah? You know, don't try the Times crossword, the New York Times crossword, Donna. If you can't work that fucking pocket dial thing out, you're no good at any crossword. No crossword for Donna.
Phone is in your pocket or in your purse and it accidentally calls someone you didn't mean it to.
I bet she loves doing crosswords, right? Cryptic ones, scheming ones.
I mean, that could have happened, sure.
Okay. And you also could have not pressed the button on your cell phone to end a call before, right?
It's possible.
Okay. It's not quite as big of a deal as it used to be when you would actually have to like, hang up the phone.
Right.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Redirect examination.
Briefly, Your Honor. The consent that you gave for the call to be recorded, when did that end?
It ended when Charlie hung up, or when it, whatever stopped the call. I mean, I don't know how it stopped, but it stopped. When the call was over with Charlie, it was over.
Nothing further.
You may step down.
Hello, Evelina. Judy. 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 Judy? Judy.
As to the burden at this time, under the precedent established by Smiley versus State, in order to exclude what are complained of wiretapped interceptions, the movement has a need to show there was a subjective...
Hey, I like cryptic crosswords, Jane Creasman. You know, it's good for the brain.
...expectation of privacy.
Sudoku, on the other hand, can fuck right off. No, Sudoku's all right, but I always fuck it up right at the end.
In their statements, and the expectation is one that society would accept as reasonable. As to the subjective expectation showing the defendant has met that burden, it now shifts to the state as to whether this is one that is reasonable. Ms. Dugan?
Yes, sir. I have argument.
You may proceed.
May I provide the court with some case law?
You may.
I've got some argument, and then I'll kind of go through each one of these cases.
Oh, I love it when Sarah Dugan provides the court with some case law.
So in the defendant's motion, they first argued that this was a warrantless search. However, the state's argument is that this is not subject to Fourth Amendment. There's no wrongful state action that caused this defendant to be reported after the inmate was no longer on the call. The only conceivable state action here is the state having this service that allows inmates to make recorded calls. But on those calls, both parties have to consent to be recorded for the call to begin. And if they do not want to be recorded or need to hang up, the state didn't intend to record this defendant's conversation in her home with her husband and friends. And it was the fact that she was recorded was not caused by the state's actions. It was caused by the defendant's actions.
Hey, Jane Creasman, I've got a cryptic clue for you. 3 letters. The clue is bird seen in the museum. Bird seen in the museum. 3 letters. I got it pretty quick.
The defendant argues that
I think. I haven't checked the answer, but I think I've got it. Bird seen in the museum. 3 letters. Cryptic crossword clue.
they have a reasonable expectation of privacy in the call, but that would only start once this defendant actually hangs up. And the defendant...
Or if anyone else wants to have a guess, let us know in the comments. Oh, she got it. Oh, nice. Nice work, Kermley. Oh, let's do another one. I like this game. While we're waiting for trial. Okay. How about this? No, I don't even get that one. Four letters. Perhaps hawks attempt to catch rook. It's the possessive noun of hawk. Perhaps hawks attempt to catch rook. 4 letters. I really don't know. I'll leave it to you experts. Perhaps hawks attempt to catch rook. 4 letters.
The defendant is the one responsible for hanging up, not the state. The defendant was responsible for the interception of the phone call. It was her failure to hang up that caused that rest of that call to be recorded. It was her action and not the state action that made that happen. The state did nothing to keep her from hanging up the phone or prevent her from hanging up the phone. I think an analogy here would be if someone were to say something incriminating in earshot of a law enforcement officer because they think the law enforcement officer can't hear them. If they can actually hear them, then that's on the speaker because the speaker didn't walk away to talk. That was the speaker's carelessness. The defense also cites Florida Statute 934 and says that the good faith exception doesn't apply because this call was in violation of that statute. But when you look at 934.03, every single subsection of that statute applies to intentional intercepts, not general. I provided several cases to the court. There's nothing directly on point here of this situation having happened just like this in the past, but there are a lot of cases that deal with inadvertent recordings. One of the first cases I gave to you is Baronet. This is a U.S. Court of Appeals case from the 6th Circuit that held that police...
Maybe we should come back to I mean, the hearing today lasted for about all of 15 minutes. So maybe, I don't know if waiting for it on Court TV, Law and Crime Network, or Tallahassee Democrat is, I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be. How many people have we got waiting? Are we annoying people by making them wait? Maybe we should do a special show later. I don't know.
Interception, a conversation between the defendants that was overheard when a telephone that was subject to a court-authorized wiretap was inadvertently left off the hook by the defendant. That was authorized under the plain view exception to the warrant requirement. In that case, the state had an actual Title III wire on the defendant's phone. The defendant was on a call and then didn't properly hang up the call. They left the phone off the hook accidentally. And then law enforcement was able to hear the conversation in the room where that phone was located. So when you compare that to our case, there's obviously, you know, a much different type of state action in that case with a wire. But regardless, this was a recorded line. It was a legally recorded line where they consented to be recorded. Just like in our case, though, the defendant in that case failed to properly hang up, and that allowed law enforcement to hear the conversation in the room. And that was ruled to be authorized because of the inadvertent nature of the recording. Another was Otero versus State. This is a third DCA case from Florida where a child accidentally activated an answering machine of a home that she was staying at. And that answering machine recorded the conversation of the mother and the child unbeknownst to either of them. The third DCA found that admission of that tape into evidence did not violate the statutory exclusionary rule found in 934 because 934 prohibits intentional interception of wire communication. And that taping in that case was accidental, not intentional, just like in our case. There's another case the court, or I provided to the court, Bell versus State. In that case, a girlfriend began to record her conversation with her boyfriend, who was the appellant. And that conversation that she wanted to record was about money, an argument about money between them. The appellant, Bell, then took the phone from her and kept the phone after the argument ended and the girlfriend left the house. The girlfriend's young daughter was still at the house, and after the girlfriend left, the defendant was intoxicated and forgot to turn off the audio recording. There was then a recording, as the recording kept going, it recorded him molesting the girlfriend's young daughter after the girlfriend left the house.
God, are you listening to this case law, guys? What a horrific case.
The next day and handed it over to the police. The defendant was charged with L&L molestation. In that case, the recording of this molestation was obviously inadvertent, and the defendant agreed with that. Only the first conversation about money was what the girlfriend was trying to intend before the phone was taken from her. And that phone was in the appellant's custody and control at the time of this recording of the L&L molestation. The DCA in that case said that the trial court did not err in concluding that Mr. Bell failed to prove that his girlfriend intentionally intercepted the portion of the recording that took place while she was gone. Unless his girlfriend intentionally violated the statute, he was not entitled to the benefit of the statutory exclusionary rule. Because the recording was fictitious, but after she warned him she was going to record him, he took possession of the device that recorded his words and actions. And so the court found that the appellant did not establish that the communications were intercepted under any circumstances justifying an expectation of privacy. I have one more case that concerns the reasonable expectation of privacy. This is the Huff case that I provided to the court, which is a federal case where the plaintiff, a federal civil case, where the plaintiff inadvertently pocket dialed the defendant, which is something that, has happened to us all. And the defendant listened to and recorded the conversation she overheard while on the pocket dial call. The plaintiff then brought suit for the defendant intentionally intercepting this private conversation. And in that conversation, the plaintiff was basically having a discussion with his wife and with other people as well in the room. The court ruled the plaintiff...
Now, Lee, we're just watching the February 26th hearing where Donna's lawyers tried to get the
but the plaintiff's wife's
hot mic recording squashed.
She can't be held responsible for her husband's pocket dial. But the thing that I think is most important about that case is the court's holding that a person who knowingly operates a device that is capable of inadvertently exposing his conversation to third-party listeners and fails to take simple precautions to prevent such exposure does not have a reasonable expectation of privacy with respect to statements that are exposed to an outsider by the inadvertent operation of that device. So in that case, the statements didn't qualify under that were as ones that were.
Hi Kim, thanks for becoming a member on the YouTubes there. Welcome member. Yeah, I think I'm just going to let the well, not the whole thing. I'm not going to play this whole hearing, but we're just waiting to see if Court TV, Tallahassee Democrat, or Law and Crime Network are going to post the video of today's hearing. Yeah, it'd be good to get it on. Good to go. We can always come back to it later. It was only 15 minutes long, but it's a renewed motion in limine to preclude. The defense wants to preclude the state's questioning of the storyline of Wendi Adelson's book, This Is Our Story, claiming that it would be prejudicial to do so in front of the jury. When I don't believe it is. I think it's valuable evidence against Donna, showing motive. So I can't imagine it's going to go through. And thank you so much for the super sticker, Kim. Thank you, Kim.
Protected under the U.S. Code. And that's what we have here. We have the defendant failing to take simple precautions of properly hanging up what she knows is a recorded call. So the state would ask that the defense motion be denied.
Exactly. It's your responsibility, Donna. It's not difficult. You look at your phone, there's a big red button, end call, and you press that to end the call. Until you press that, your call is being recorded. The call is being recorded. That's the wording, right? Legally, everything on that call is fair game because you essentially signed a waiver, entered into a verbal contract with the supercomputer to say you accept that this call will be recorded. It doesn't say until Charlie Adelson gets disconnected. It's the call. You have a red button. Press the red button, end the call. Then you don't have to worry about this. But we understand, Donna. You were very stressed. There was a lot going on. Charlie just got life in prison. Wendi didn't want anything to do with you. You're booking flights to fucking Vietnam, where you're supposedly never coming back, right? Just going to stay in Vietnam until you die. Stress. We get it. But, unfortunately for you, Donna, the call was recorded and it's coming in and the jury's going to listen to it. So, good luck with Wendy's book, though. Yeah, good luck. I don't think Judge Everett's going to stand for that for 1 second.
Final argument on the motion to suppress from the defense.
Yes, Your Honor. There are two cases. I cited a number of cases, and I know Your Honor's practices review those in addition. There are two additional cases I provided copies of the state.
Mr. Zellman doesn't impress me at all, but Jackie Fulford, I am looking forward to seeing her question some witnesses, okay? I'm not saying that she's great. She's certainly better than Daniel Rashbaum, and she's not all about the bright feathers and fancy suits. She's got a terrible haircut, which tells me what? Which tells me she cares more about procedure than looks, right? Daniel Rashbaum, Mr. Hand Grenade, they're all about the fancy suits, the nice watch, That's their focus. Jackie Fulford clearly doesn't have a mirror in her house. She just has a framed copy of the Constitution.
That I am relying on. First is Kent versus State, 62 Southern 3rd, 1184, and State versus Mozo, 655 Southern
State versus Bozo.
What do you make?
We've got to look up State versus Bozo. Oh.
Thank you.
That's
So,
what this
start
case.
with a very general proposition that's important for us to remember. Right to privacy is enshrined in the Florida Constitution. Article 1, Section 23 provides that the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures and against the unreasonable interception of private communications by any means shall not be violated. Article 1, Section 23, the Florida Constitution also provides that every natural person has the right to be let alone and free of governmental intrusion into the person's private life. Fourth Amendment includes similar protections. 934.02 defines an oral communication as any oral communication uttered by a person exhibiting an expectation that such communication is not subject to interception under circumstances justifying such expectation. The courts have held in Florida, as cited in my motion, for an oral conversation to be protected, the speaker must have an objective expectation of privacy, along with a societal recognition that the expectation is reasonable. Your Honor, State versus Mozo, almost 20 years ago, courts have held that conversations, oral communications taking place in one's home are protected by Chapter 934.
I don't think this point is reasonably in dispute, but go ahead.
Now, the question, obviously, is the objective portion of this test. And Hence versus State, 4th DCA, and Hence is a situation, Your Honor, where an individual was in an interview room at the police department. He placed a call to essentially...
You know, I would love to go and run the production for this network in the courtroom. I would do such a better job. That's what I used to do. You know, not in courtrooms, but in very similar venues. You know, and my audio was perfect. My cameraman were tip top. Framing was bang on. Everything was bang on. Why can't these guys get it bang on? If I was running it, it would be bang on. Audio's all over the place. Fucking cameraman's drunk. And, you know, it's like, what's wrong with these guys? This is a major national network. I mean, I don't understand. Maybe I should get a job with law and crime as a consultant.
Co-conspiratorship, co-defendant. And the recording equipment was powerful enough in that interview room to pick up the other end of the call that is made to Hence. Based on what law enforcement heard from the individual's call, the individual who is calling Mr. Hence, they obtained a search warrant for his cell phone. And on that cell phone they found...
Wow, check it out. We've got someone from Jerusalem, Israel in the house tonight. Welcome, Aviva Cohen.
Images that are illegal to possess, as well as other evidence of a crime that the two of them engaged in. The Hence court held that, and
welcome, Rosie. And thank you so much, Catherine Armstrong, for the super sticker. Thank you, Catherine.
Another important factor, Your Honor, Mr. Hence was aware that the individual on the other end of the phone was at the police department waiting to speak to law enforcement. Court held that Hence had a subjective expectation of privacy, and his expectation was one society accepts as reasonable. Now, one distinguishing factor, I need to acknowledge that, but I submit it's not dispositive, is that while Hence did not know that the individual was sitting in a police interview room, whereas Mrs. Adelson knew that Charlie was in jail and had consented to her call with Charlie being recorded.
Yeah, I was maybe not going to do a live tonight, Michelle, but I think we have to. I think we have to take a short break after we conclude this little special where we may or may not get today's hearing. If we don't get it today, we'll come back later. Don't worry about it. I'll have to change the thumbnail, but that's okay. We love making thumbnails at True Crime Metrix. What does everyone think about our fantastic thumbnail? You just love our thumbnails. I mean, who says that we haven't got the best thumbnails in true crime? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
But the oral communication that is protected by Chapter 934 that is at issue here are the conversations that Mrs. Adelson had after Charlie dropped off the call, when she believed.
Man, everyone listens to True Crime Metrix while they're still at work. I hope no one gets fired because of me.
The call was no longer being recorded. Conversation, at least with respect to the November 7th, is with her attorney and her husband. Both are confidential relationships.
Doesn't the warning, though, about the recording almost directly speak to that issue where, I'll read the case that you've given me about Hintz. Although he knew his friend was at the police station, he never received an explicit warning about you may be recorded if you continue on this conversation.
Correct, and I'm going to get to that, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Thank you. The testimony, uncontroverted testimony, is that Mrs. Adelson believes she hung the phone up once she realized Charlie was no longer on the call. There's no evidence otherwise. And I don't think it is reasonable to require an individual in a situation like that, I just had a recorded phone call, let me repeatedly hit the end button. Hit it once.
Hey, buddy, you don't have to do it repeatedly, okay? Just once will do. You have to take responsibility for ending the call that you have essentially waived your rights to privacy, whatever. You don't have to repeatedly tap the button. No one's saying that. Okay? Let's just hear him again. I'm so unimpressed with Mr. Zellman. I'm surprised that he passed the Adelson test. Jackie, for the reasons I just said, she has terrible hair. Why? Because she spends all her time at the law library. No mirrors in the house, just a framed copy of the Constitution. Right? She's focused. And she's kind of, what is the word? Catty, maybe? She's a little bit vicious, and I'm quite looking forward to see her asking some tough questions to Jeff Lacasse.
Should be enough. She believed that she ended the phone call. Now, Hence also addressed something else that I think is important. Chapter 93403 is a general intent statute. It does not require that the state intentionally recorded after one party of this jail call drops off. It's not required. Was the system designed to intentionally record? The answer has to be yes. Investigator Newell intended.
I feel like I have to apologize for the shit audio, even though it's not my fault. It's Law and Crime Network, who we will be writing a very strong letter to, insisting that they bring me in under contract to consult.
Testified, yes, intentionally designed to record. Now, the state anticipated that they would argue accident or inadvertence. This is not an accident. An accident is something that doesn't happen frequently. Mrs. Adelson testified that this happened. The call, Charlie dropping off the call, would happen frequently. And as Investigator Newell acknowledged, Defense Exhibit 3 and Defense Exhibit 1 established this was not an isolated issue. This happened. The system is intentionally designed to continue recording. Under Chapter 934, I submit that when either side of the call is no longer on the call, that the system has to stop recording, and any additional recording is a violation. And that's what we have here. This is not an accident. This is not inadvertent. Securus Technologies system is designed to continue to record after either one of those parties drops off the call.
Dude, it records the call until the call is over. It's your client's responsibility to end the call that she accepted would be recorded. It's no trick by Securus Technology. This system is designed to continue recording after a call. What you're just making this up. You're totally not impressing Judge Everett.
Investigator Newland said that it terminates when both parties hang up. Well, I submit, Your Honor, that that's not what happens. It continues to record, and it is not reasonable. And society is not expecting that somebody sit there with their phone and continue to hit the end button to make sure that the call stops on their end. I think that's unreasonable.
But do you have to continue to hit the end button, or you hit it once? It's disconnected.
Testimony is that she believes she did.
Go ahead.
So, because this is not a specific intent statute, is the system designed to intend to record? Yes. And there's no evidence that this was accidental or inadvertent. This is not a pocket dial, as the state argued. We know that Charlie intentionally called his mom. We know that the system intentionally recorded the call. The state has not presented sufficient evidence to establish this is not a communication that society that there's a reasonable expectation that society would accept that this call is anything other than something that is entitled to the protection of 934 and the Florida Constitution.
And we'll review the cases that were presented by both parties before making any ruling. I'll reserve on the ruling as to today. We'll take a brief 5-minute break before we get into the Arthur and bond motion. We'll be in recess.
Brief 5-minute break for some coffees. I think Donna Adelson's about to come up on the stand. But as we're at a break and everyone's having coffee, if you'd like to support the channel, there's a link in the description to buymeacoffee.com/truecrimemetrics where you can buy us a coffee.com, and that would be very much appreciated, guys. Yeah, there's also other links, merch links, social network links, Patreon links in the description for the video. Check it out, see what you think, and support the channel. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Donna's back.
Wilson?
See, look at that hair. What does that hair tell us?
As to the
That hair tells us good lawyer, right?
bond portion of this, do you
I mean, just as a profile, where's our resident hair expert, Michelle?
have witnesses?
We do, Your Honor. State would call Donna Adelson.
Michelle, what would you do if a client like Jackie Fulford came into your establishment and asked for help? What would you say? I mean, would you say, listen, this is going to be a multiple day deal? Hey, thank you so much, someone, for the coffee. Who was that? Let's pick up a name. Gwen, thank you so much, Gwen, for the coffee on buymeacoffee.com. Very much appreciated, Gwen.
So Adelson, you can retake the stand once again. You remain.
But seriously, Michelle.
To the bond portion of it.
Jackie Fulford comes into your salon and asks for help. What do you say?
Do you have witnesses?
We do, Your Honor. State would call Donna Adelson.
So Adelson, you can retake the stand once again. You remain under oath. You are sworn to tell the truth.
Yeah, good luck with that. Even Judge Everett's just, you can tell he's just saying that to go through the motions. He's like, yeah, like you're going to tell the truth.
You may examine when you're ready, Ms. Fulford.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Adelson, at the commencement of the hearing on the motion to suppress you said your name for the record, Donna Adelson. Can you tell the court how many times prior to your arrest for the charges that are pending in this case have you been arrested for criminal offenses?
Never.
And how long?
I never even got a parking ticket. She says that in every letter we get from Donna Adelson. Me, a woman, 75 years old, who never so much as got a parking ticket.
Incarcerated at the Leon County Detention Facility. Do you recall?
Should we read one of Donna's letters? Maybe I need to think where they are. I think we should do a video on just reading all the correspondence we have from Donna independently, you know, because it really does, over the period of her incarceration, it really does tell a story about, you know, her perspective on events, her view of the court system and the venue of justice and so on. I mean, when you see it all as one, you know, we read them out here and there as they come in, but I think we should do a special video where we just go through each and every one that we have, right? I mean, because it really does tell a story.
13 and a half months, 470 days.
And within that period of time, the 470 days, have you been held in the same location in the Leon County Detention Facility or different locations?
Different locations.
Okay, and your first location was where?
First location was in solitary confinement on a direct observation unit.
Do you know how long you were there?
50 days.
Okay, and where did you go following solitary?
To the N pod, like N is in November. It's an open pod, general population.
What does that mean, open pod, general population?
So I was with 60 some odd other inmates, all in one open area.
And you had beds in your room, I assume?
There were each sections off about 10 women. So, and there'd be a cement wall, and then there'd be another 10 women and a cement wall. So it was fairly quiet, actually, even with that many women, because we were separated in small groups, so it wasn't that loud.
Okay, and do you recall when you were taken out of the in like Nancy pod?
Yes, in August, they said they had maintenance.
At least Donna Adelson has the phonetic alphabet right. I mean, I've said before how I don't understand how grown adults, and I know some of you do it in chat, I know, and it's okay. I love all you guys, but it's N as in November, not Nancy, not Nicholas, not nunchucks. It's November, okay? Donna got it right, so that's the one thing that she has going for her in my eyes. Speaking of my eyes, I think I just rubbed some hot chili pepper in my fucking eye, and it's stinging. But we're just gonna push on through. Keep blinking, keep blinking. It'll go away eventually.
To do, and that we would be moved to the annex, which is a building outside of the jail.
Okay, and so I'm not going to be specific as to dates, but you were arrested in November of 2023 in solitary confinement for 50 days to whatever date that took you to.
January 9th.
Okay, and then from January 9th all the way through some date in August of 2024.
Correct.
You were in the N like Nancy pod. And then you said you were transferred to the annex. Can you describe the conditions inside the annex, please?
So the annex is kind of a temporary type building. It's not a brick building. It's kind of like a temporary building, and it's and there are 66 women, all in bunk beds, all open. You're kind of one on top of the.
Yeah, Donna, it's called jail.
It's this.
I don't have my own room. My bathtub doesn't have a jacuzzi setting. And they don't bring me daily fresh towels. No mint on my pillow. Nothing.
There's no separation at all.
So one big open room?
One big open room with 66 beds, yes.
Okay. And how long did you stay? So from August of 2024 until when? How long did you stay in the annex?
I was moved again on February 3rd, 2025.
Okay, and you were here when the gentleman was testifying about the call buttons to alert someone if you're having a medical emergency. Was there one of those in the N pod?
No.
Was there one in the annex?
No.
Okay. I'd like to start the motion for a bond that we filed in this case, as the court indicated earlier. One of the issues that we have raised are medical conditions that you're facing. So I'd like to start with your medical conditions and present some testimony to the court about those, okay?
Okay.
Okay. We're not going to go over every medical condition you've had since you've been incarcerated in the jail, but I'd like to start with one that you have that's causing you some pain in your leg and back area. Okay. Let me just start with this. Can you describe to the court the kind of pain and discomfort that you're having with this particular injury or issue?
Yeah, it's I know what it is because I've had it in the past. It's sciatic pain, and I get like a pulling kind of shooting pain down my legs.
Okay. And you said you've had it in the past. You mean prior to becoming incarcerated at the Leon County Jail?
Yes.
Okay. And during the course of time before you were incarcerated at the Leon County Jail, did you seek treatment for that condition?
Yes, I did.
And what type of treatment did you obtain for that?
So I saw my orthopedist, and he gave me a steroid injection in my spine.
Okay. How long were you suffering from the sciatic condition prior to becoming incarcerated?
How long the last episode?
Before you were incarcerated in jail, for how many years had you been suffering with the sciatic issue?
So no, I had it last about 10 years ago. I haven't had it all this time.
Okay.
But then it recurred a few months.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Neverly darling, and I appreciate you too. All of the bulletproof Metrix moderators, each and every one of them, they're all fantastic and awesome. Thank you, Neverly darling, for the super chat.
Okay, and what was the treatment that you were provided prior to your incarceration for your sciatic condition?
It was the steroid injection, and within 48 hours, it was gone. The pain was gone. It was amazing.
And where did they do the steroid injection? Where is that in your body?
In my spine.
Spine. Okay. Is that an outpatient procedure, inpatient?
Yes, outpatient.
Outpatient. Okay. All right. And during the course of time that you've been in the Limine County Jail, did you start to experience the sciatic pain again?
Yes, I did.
And what did you do when you started to experience that pain?
I wrote a sick call, and I went to see the doctor.
Okay. Where do you get these sick call forms from?
From the nurse.
Okay. And when do you have the opportunity to see a nurse with sick call forms?
Well, they come twice a day. They come in the morning and they come in the evening.
Okay. And we'll get to...
You know, right now she is 34 years older than Dan Markel ever was, you know. Almost, that's close to double the age. I mean, Harvey is double the age that Professor Markel was, or he's going to be soon, very soon. No, he's 81 now, or hang on. Well, he's practically 82. Let's call it that. Do people really count when you get past 80? Old as fuck. That's what he is. He's old as fuck. And Professor Markel will never be old as fuck.
To what those times are at a later point, but if you don't get a form from a nurse, is there another way to obtain it that you're aware of?
No, that's the only way I've ever gotten it is from a nurse.
Okay. Do you recall approximately how far into your incarceration you started having the sciatic issues again?
I didn't have it until I was in the annex, so that was sometime over the last, I've been there 6 months. I don't remember the specific date, but I didn't have it before the annex.
Okay. And once you started experiencing it in the annex, did you complete a form to see medical attention?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And as a result of completing that form, did you have an opportunity?
How you doing, Mimi RN38? Good to see you again.
To meet with someone in the medical center at the Limine County Jail?
I saw the doctor there.
And
yes.
what happened?
And I explained what I had, and she said, we do not treat that type of problem. We could offer you some Tylenol.
And did they provide you with Tylenol?
And Tylenol is what? Like aspirin? It's a brand name? We don't have that in Europe.
They did.
And has that relieved you of the pain that you suffer?
No, it's Tylenol. It's not gonna do what I need to have done. No.
Okay. So sometime since you've been in the annex, you made your request for treatment for the sciatic issue. Have you requested treatment more than once?
Yes.
Okay. And have you received any additional opportunities to meet with any of the medical staff regarding this pain?
No.
Okay. What happens when you request treatment and you don't get to see them? Do they tell you that you're not going to be allowed to see them again? What happens?
No. Usually I wait a week, and if I don't hear anything, then I'll write another one, and I'll write, this is a second request, or this is a third request. And then I think they said I think I got an answer. They sometimes just answer it and give it to the pod officer, and she'll hand out papers at night, which is the response to your requests. And
well, Mimi, this is not today's hearing. We're playing the February 26th hearing because we're waiting for one of the major networks to post today's hearing. I don't know why they don't put that out live. You know, I mean, they should. There's a demand. They're missing a trick. But we're waiting to see if it comes on. If it doesn't come on within a reasonable time frame, we'll come back with it at a later stage. But we might as well just have a rerun of Donna Adelson. She's always very good value, right?
On that one, they said you're already getting pain medication for this. That was the Tylenol.
And the pain medication is just regular Tylenol?
Regular Tylenol.
Okay. At some point, did you have an opportunity to speak to someone in medical care regarding a way to resolve some of the pressure in your leg for use of a medical mattress?
Yes. While I was down with the doctor during one visit, she said, you know what might be helpful, because you're sleeping on metal and the mattress is maybe a ½ inch thick, maybe. She said what would help is if I could get a medical mattress for you. I had never heard that term before, but I said, okay, if you think it'll help, that would be great. And she left the room, she went into another room, and then she came back in and said, yeah, I thought that would be a good idea, but they don't have it here. So my best thoughts for you would be to get a second mattress, so it'll thicken it a little bit, and that might give you some relief at night.
Okay. And did you obtain a second mattress?
I did.
And this was while you were in the annex?
While I was in the annex.
How did you get the additional mattress?
So the pod officer asked one of the inmates to go where they have extra mattresses. There are piles of 20, 30 mattresses there, to go get one of the extra mattresses and put it on my bed so that I had the extra mattress.
Okay. And during the time that you were allowed to have the additional mattress, did you get any relief?
Yes, at night, because I used to get the pains even if I was just lying down. And that definitely relieved some of the pain at night, so that was good.
Okay. And at some point, did they take the additional mattress away?
Yes, so on February 3rd, I was moved out of the annex to protective custody in the main jail building. And since I've been there, the officer removed the second mattress. Okay. She said, why do you have this? And I told her why. And she said, well, you have this.
And
so they took it away.
Okay. And since the additional mattress has been taken away, have you started to experience worsened pain?
Yeah, it's worse.
Okay. And have you requested any medical treatment for that?
Well, I spoke to the doctor. I don't remember the date. Shortly after it was taken away, I was down for a different reason, and she said, yeah, I thought it was a good idea, but if you can't have it, you can't have it.
Okay. All right. Now, the relief that you got when you were able to have the additional mattress, did that completely take away the pain?
No.
And do you experience this pain when you're walking, sitting? What?
So, in the beginning, I was just getting it when I was walking. So it limited the amounts of walking I could do, but I get it when I'm sitting, I get it lying down, I get it all the time now. So it's not like I have it all the time. It comes and goes, but it just comes. I could be sitting, I could be standing. It just happens.
Okay. We're going to go into more details about how it took place in a few more minutes, but for now I'd like to talk about, are there any other areas that you are experiencing any pain?
Yes, I have a problem with my left arm.
And describe to the court what that problem is, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing.
So I have like shooting pain from the top here of my shoulder down the outside of my arm into my forearm.
Okay, and you're pointing to your left arm. Is that the one you're referring to?
It's my left arm.
Okay, and so shooting pain down the arm. Anything into your hands?
Yeah, the pain is like hot. It's like a burning pain, and my thumb, index, and middle finger have gotten like tingling. It almost feels like ants are crawling on them. It's like a numbness of those fingers.
Okay.
It's so funny because in the letters that we've seen from Donna, the emails from Donna, she complains about literal ants crawling in her bed at night and crawling through her hair while she sleeps on the pillow. But now she's comparing the pain to feeling like ants. You know, one of those things is a lie.
And is this pain that you were experiencing?
But liars will do that. They will base, the best lies are based around truth, right?
Prior to your incarceration at Limine County Jail?
No.
Okay. About when did this pain begin?
And Donna knows that after a lifetime of fucking hustling her way through life, right? She knows that the best lies are based on truth.
So I was assaulted by another inmate while I was here at the beginning of October.
October 2024?
Yes.
And when you say the Limine County Jail?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Since you began experiencing that pain, since October of 2024, have you requested medical treatment?
Yes.
And what has the response been?
They said they would take an x-ray, but in the meantime I could have Tylenol.
Okay. And you said that was in approximately October of 2024. Have you been requesting treatment for that pain since October of 2024?
Several times.
Okay.
Yes.
And you heard the testimony of the gentleman previously. At some point, did they do an x-ray on your arm?
Yes.
And when was that?
It might have been February 3rd. No, that's the day I moved. Shortly after February 3rd. I don't know the date.
Was it after you were removed and placed in protective custody?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Is the Tylenol helped with the pain that you're experiencing?
No.
After they performed the x-ray, were you called back into the medical unit?
It was for another reason, but they did call me and they told me that the x-ray showed no fracture.
Okay, no fracture. That's what they were looking for?
That's what they were looking for.
Okay. Did they offer any type of physical therapy for your shoulder, anything at all?
No, I asked if they could do anything for it and they said no.
Okay.
Tylenol.
All right. Do you have any other medical conditions that you wanted us to address in the bond hearing that you're suffering from?
So I have a hearing issue.
Okay.
I have a problem. I evidently have very narrow ear canals, and so the wax builds up in my ears to the point that, I mean, I have officers that say to me, "Are you deaf, Adelson?" When I don't respond to them, it's because I don't hear.
Are you deaf, Adelson? Adelson! Lockdown! Adelson! Wreck time! I would love to be a CO with Donna Adelson. It's never been a job I'd like to do, but on this occasion, I'll volunteer.
hear them. And so I did ask for help in the, I asked the doctor if there was anything they could do for me, and I told her what's normally done, and she said, we use Debrox to soften the wax, and then you come down 3 or 4 days later, and we use a bulb syringe to remove it. And I said, that doesn't work. I need a different procedure. And she said, that's all we can do for you.
Okay. And did you know, based on your prior treatment before you came into the Leon County Jail, that it required something other than the flushing system?
Yes, I did know.
Do you recall the name of the doctor that you saw for this condition?
Yes, I've seen him for years. Dr. Molina.
Okay. And Dr. Molina, how long do you think that you saw him for this condition prior to your incarceration?
I mean, several years.
Thank you so much, Madeline P., for the super chat.
Okay.
4 years, 5 years, I don't know.
Okay, and during the course of his treatment for you, how often would you go to have the wax removed from your small ear canals?
Yeah, every 3 to 4 months. If I waited longer than that, I couldn't hear.
Okay, and did he use this method, or did he do something different?
No.
What did he do?
He used some kind of, I don't know what it's called, but it's some kind of an electronic device that he puts one end in my ear, and he's able to remove the wax using that device, that medical device.
And in your experience prior to incarceration, when you were having that procedure done, did your hearing improve?
Immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, immediately.
May I push the witness on?
You may.
Mrs. Adelson, I've shown you what the defense has marked as Defense Exhibit 1 for purposes of this hearing, and it's a report from Dr. Molina, your doctor. Could you review that just to yourself for a moment? Okay. Does that describe the treatment that he was providing to you?
Yes.
Okay, and it includes a recommendation that you continue to receive the same treatment, potentially with another ENT in Tallahassee, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. This time the defense would offer Defense Exhibit 1 into evidence.
Any objections to Defense 1?
No, sir.
Defense 1 is admitted. You may. Thank you.
During the time that you have, without disclosing any of the conversations, of course, but during the course of the time that you have met with counsel at the jail, have you had difficulty hearing us while we're trying to discuss your case with us?
Yes.
And what about over the telephone? Are you experiencing difficulty hearing us in that way?
Yeah, the telephone is a problem.
Okay. Have you actually gotten in trouble by some of the guards at the jail because they've instructed you to do something and you weren't able to?
Yes.
Has that happened on more than one occasion?
It happens on several occasions.
Okay. And have you experienced over the course of your incarceration that your hearing is getting worse and worse?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. This is not a significant, I'm going to move on to something else now, and this is not a significant injury.
Patsy Klein says, "Hey Donna, wonder how Dan's hearing was after the shots to his head. You're despicable." That's a good summary, Patsy Klein. Thank you for sharing that.
But I did want to address this with respect to the type of medical care that you are getting at the jail. Did something happen to you recently where you cut your arm?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the court what happened, please.
So I was walking past the washing machine on my way to the restroom, and I bumped into there's like a metal bracket that holds the washing machine in place, I guess, and it was my fault. I bumped into it.
And what happened?
So I cut my arm pretty badly.
So what did you do after you cut your arm?
So the timing was it's kind of interesting because the med nurse was there doing morning meds. So I got onto the bleeding wouldn't stop. It was just pouring out, and so I figured I'll get on the line with the other girls and I'll speak to the med nurse. So I waited my turn, and I got to the med nurse, and she says, "Whoa, what happened to you?" And I said, my fault. I just bumped into the machine and I cut myself. So she looked at it and she said,
Yeah, show us the injury, Donna. Surely there's still going to be some scar tissue on your old hands.
Yeah, that's a problem. I said, yeah, can I get a Band-Aid or gauze or something, some antibiotic cream?
Yeah, or some meds. Can I get meds? If I give you my breakfast, will you give me meds?
She said, yeah, I don't have any antibiotic cream.
I'll trade you my spaghetti and potatoes for meds, okay? I don't want any food anymore, just meds.
And I don't have a Band-Aid. So I looked at her and I said, well, what should I do? She said, well, why don't you use your toilet paper and
Donna, you're fucking 75 years old, right? Unless you're gushing blood and gonna bleed out on the floor because you've hit the fucking carotid artery, you're gonna be okay. You know, it will clot in 5 minutes. You don't need anything. You're not gonna get infected. I mean, just sort it out. What's your fucking problem?
put it on there. I said, but it's gushing. I can't put toilet paper on there. So one of the girls saw me and she said, oh my God. And she came running over and she opens up a sanitary napkin and she put it on there so that, and it was filling the sanitary napkin with blood. And so another girl came over, she took the bloodied one away and she gave me hers too. And I was applying that. I said to the nurse again, I'm not going to be able to stop it holding this. Isn't there something you can do? She says, the best I could offer you would be to fill out a medical request form. So I said, you want me to do that now? She said, yes. I said, okay, can I have a medical request form? She says, oh, I don't have any. I said, well, what am I supposed to do? And she said, I don't know what to tell you. She's maybe the night nurse.
Okay. So this was just a couple of days before you were transferred to protective custody, correct?
Correct.
Okay. But do you recall that it was on Saturday, the 1st of February?
It was a Saturday morning, yes.
Okay. And so about what time of morning would this have been if this was the morning med nurse?
It could have been 9 or 10, okay. Somewhere in the morning.
Okay. And when she told you that she didn't have any sick call forms for you to request a Band-Aid, then you would need to get it from the night nurse.
Yeah, I knew I said that wrong, Patsy Cline. Thank you.
Approximately what time does the night nurse come?
So the night nurse comes anywhere from 11:30 to 2:30 in the morning.
11:30 p.m. to what time?
2:30 a.m.
2:30 a.m.
Right.
And in the meantime, you were supposed to use the feminine pads?
I called my husband. He told me to elevate my arm, to wash it, to try to wash it frequently, just to keep my arm up. And that's what I did. And one girl brought over toilet paper, but that was sticking to the wound, so that wasn't good. So I kept borrowing sanitary pads to hold it.
Okay. And at some point, did the night nurse come?
Yes, she came that night.
Okay. And what happened when she got there?
She didn't have a Band-Aid either.
Okay.
She didn't have antibiotic ointment either. And I said, this has been going on since early this morning.
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just turned around and noticed that some of the state's witnesses have re-entered the courtroom. We had previously invoked the rule for the bond proceeding.
All right. And for anyone who is here to testify concerning bond, please step outside the courtroom. Ms. Dugan, is any witness you're intending to call currently in the courtroom?
I don't see any. I'm calling Ms. Wilson and Deputy Collins.
Please continue with your examination, Ms. Fulford.
Thank you. So the night nurse came, and the night nurse didn't have a Band-Aid either?
No antibiotic, no Band-Aid, and no the form that I was told to ask her for, the sick call form. She said, I don't have them. We haven't had them in a while.
The night nurse?
The night nurse.
So how were you supposed to request, according to the night nurse then, how were you supposed to request assistance?
So I was actually fortunate because there was a sergeant with the night nurse. She accompanies the nurse when she comes there. And she took a look at what I look like, and the night nurse said, yeah, that's a problem. And so the sergeant said, I'm going to make sure you get a Band-Aid, and I'm going to make sure you get a form. You'll get it by tomorrow. When I go back with the night nurse, she said, I'll run some off on the machine, some copies, and I'm going to make sure that you get it.
And did she?
The next morning.
Okay.
The next morning I got it.
From the sergeant?
From the sergeant, yes.
Okay. You got the Band-Aid and the call nurse?
Yes.
Call form?
The call form.
Okay. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Yeah. Adelson, I'm showing you what the defense has marked as Defense Exhibit 2. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yeah.
And what is that?
That's a few days after I got cut, and that's the clear Band-Aid that they gave me to put on top.
Okay. After you got the bandage to put on over your wound, did you get additional medical treatment for the wound?
So no, not then. About, I don't know how many days later, but when I went down to medical a few days later, they said,
Matthew K is now a member. Wish they could stream True Crime Metrix videos 24/7 into Charlie and Donna's cells. Thank you, Matthew? What was it? Sorry, I forgot. Matthew K. Fantastic, Matthew. Wow. Matthew K has become a lifetime member on buymeacoffee.com. Thank you so much, Matthew K. That's fantastic. Okay, now we've got to read out your comment in full. Wish they could stream True Crime Metrix videos 24/7 into Charlie and Donna's cells. Such miserable human beings. I agree, Matthew. And yeah, thank you for becoming a lifetime member. We previously had that position reserved for the High Prince of Bangladesh, but you have taken the throne, my friend. Yeah, if anyone else would like to become a member on buymeacoffee.com, you can become a member for a month, or you can become a member for more than a month, or you can do what Matthew K did and become a lifetime member on buymeacoffee.com. Link in the description, guys. Thank you so much again, Matthew K.
how long are you wearing this bandage? And I said, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, whatever it had been. And they said, this should have been cleaned and changed every day. Why didn't you have that done? I said, I don't know. This is what they gave me to put on, and that's what I did.
Okay. The photograph, does that truly and accurately depict what your injury looked like the few days after it occurred with the bandage on it?
That's what it looked like.
The defense would offer Exhibit 2 into evidence?
An objection to defense 2.
No, sir.
May I approach?
You may.
And at this follow-up visit, then did they change your bandage and clean the wound?
They cleaned it and they put antibiotic cream on it, and they changed it, yes.
And did you get any additional treatment for the wound?
No.
Did you request that you get a tetanus shot?
My husband said, Donna, there was if rust on that metal, which there was, he said, you should ask for a tetanus shot.
And so did you request it?
So I requested it, and they did give it to me.
Okay. And then, as far as your medical conditions go, the last thing I want to talk about is something that I would give 2 different descriptions of, but I'm just asking the questions. You're the one providing the information to the court in your testimony.
Okay.
So this shortness of breath or heavy breathing that you're experiencing, right. How long has that been going on?
It's been going on several months, probably at least 3 months, I would think.
Okay. And did you're experiencing it then during your incarceration? Did you have it prior to being incarcerated?
No, I did not.
Okay. What have you noticed about the breathing, and how would you describe it? Shortness of breath, heavy breathing, what?
I know. I guess it sounds like heavy breathing. It's shortness of breath. I've never had that before. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I've gained more than a third of my body weight here. The diet is all carb.
You sure it's just a third, Donna? You seem to have doubled in size. It's like someone has fucking stuck a hose pipe up your ass and inflated you.
No protein, and when you get spaghetti with mashed potatoes, cornbread, and white bread, that's your dinner. That's very
Spaghetti with mashed potatoes with cornbread and white bread. That sounds great.
typical of what we get.
Throw in some French fries and set me a place at the table.
And we've had no exercise at all. We're confined, especially in the annex. The annex, we've been confined to our beds almost all the time. Once in a while, we get a pod officer that lets us walk, so you can walk in a circle around the girls' beds. But otherwise, there's no, even if you want to get off your bed and just try to do stretches or wall push-ups or anything, she says, this is not an exercise room, there's no exercising here. We don't get taken outside.
Let me stop you. One of these issues at a time. So with respect to the time period when you've been in the annex, which was from August of 24 until recently February of 2025, was it your understanding you're supposed to be taken outside a certain number of times?
Well, the inmate handbook says you get a minimum of 3 hours of outside time.
We went through the inmate handbook, and it is a fascinating read. Have we got a link that we can post? We'll put that up on Discord if we haven't already, or the social networks. Join us on social networks: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. Have a look at our Patreon memberships, our Buy Me a Coffee memberships, just like Matthew K, who did a great job for us just now. Thanks again, Matthew. And support the channel on buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrix, blah, 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 blah. Play the video, please.
Per day, per week, per week.
Okay, and during your time in the annex, did you experience a week where you got 3 hours of time outside?
We haven't gotten 3 hours in 6 months.
Okay. How many times did you go outside while you were in the annex?
Before you continue, Mrs. Adelson,
yes.
We have 30 minutes left in the hearing. Ms. Fulford, I understand your client is disputing the adequacy of the care. We do need to move to the most pertinent matters. Please continue.
Okay, we're going to move off of that then. I do want to talk to you then about some physical issues that have taken place in the...
I'm just going to go and grab a coffee, guys. I'm going to be back in 3 minutes. Talk amongst yourselves. Welcome back, Harley D. Good to see you, man. And Jesus lover.
The first one I want to talk about is an incident that took place in the shower, and we're going to do this one briefly. I'm sorry, how much time did you say we had, Judge?
30 more minutes.
Including argument?
Not including argument.
Okay. All right. The first incident that took place in the shower, could you just briefly describe to the judge what happened there?
Yeah, so I always, there's 7 shower heads, but I always take the same one because it's off in a corner, so I have a little bit more privacy than you'd have at the other ones, and so I would always shower there, and I was under the shower, and I was washing my hair, and I was the only one in the shower. I always go in early morning because there's nobody there. Most of the girls sleep, so I take a shower and I have a little privacy, and so I was washing my hair, and all of a sudden I felt a hand go up my back, like from the top of my butt up my back, and I yelled, "Stop it!" and I turned, and this girl said, "You like it?" And I said, "Get out of here!" And I started to scream, and she ran.
Okay. In the bathroom there, what was this? Which pod was this in?
It's in the annex.
In the annex. Okay. In the annex, are there guards positioned inside the area where you shower?
No.
Inside the area where you use the restroom?
No.
Okay. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is what transpired in October of, thank you, October of 2024, where you had said previously you were attacked. What were you doing? Where were you at, first of all, at that place?
In October. So I was in the bathroom. It's 10:30 at night. I went in to brush my teeth. Okay. There are three sink stations in the bathroom. Each one has 4 sinks, and I was at the center station with my back to the door, and I'm a righty, so I was holding my toothbrush with my right hand, and I was balancing myself with my left hand on the sink. I was just brushing my teeth. That's all I was doing.
And what happened?
And someone came up behind me and pulled my left hand away from the sink and twisted my arm and like jerked it behind my back, like reaching up toward my neck.
Okay.
And
did it hurt?
Yeah, it hurt.
Okay. What happened?
It hurt. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she's, in the same breath that she did that with my arm, she said, "You're going to buy me commissary." I said, "I'm going to what?" And she said, "Unless you want those pretty white teeth knocked out of your mouth, you're going to buy me commissary." So I said, okay. And then she named a package that she wanted, and she's out. She was gone. She was just that fast.
Okay. How bad would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad would you rate the pain at the time that she did that to you?
Oh my God, it was a 10.
Okay.
I didn't know my arm could reach that far back.
Okay. And what did you do after she did that to you?
So, kind of stood there for a minute, and then I just thought, okay, I'm going to go back to my bunk. And I went back to my bunk, and I got under the covers, and I cried. I just stayed under my covers. I didn't come out.
Okay. During your entire time in the annex, did this particular inmate remain confined in that area with you?
She was in the annex the whole time.
Okay. And I know that you don't want to talk about who did this to you, because why? Why don't you want to disclose who it was?
There's one thing I've learned since I'm there is you don't, the word is snitch. You don't snitch. You don't tell on anyone because you'll be sorry you did. And I've seen that. And so I didn't even tell you for a while. I wasn't going to tell anybody. I didn't want to tell anybody.
She's still on.
She's a big woman.
A big woman.
Okay. Approximately how tall would you say she is compared to you?
She's over 6 feet. She's over 200 pounds. She's
okay.
a very large woman.
Over 6 feet tall. Well, I'm guessing, the whole thing is that she's not revealing the name because she doesn't want to snitch. Over 6 feet. If that's true, there can't be many of them. And we can also limit it down to the people that were anywhere near her pod. How many giants are there in her pod? She's over 6 feet tall, 200 pounds of pure Tallahassee muscle.
Okay. Were you afraid of her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was after that.
Okay. And you said that she demanded that you were going to start getting her weekly commissary. Did you do that?
Yes.
Okay. Let me, can I have just one moment, Judge?
Go ahead.
Your Honor, in order to move this along a little more promptly, I've requested of the state, and they have no objection. At this time, I'm going to offer into evidence State's Exhibit number 3. I'm sorry, I said state by mistake. Defense Exhibit number 3, Defense Exhibit number 4, and Defense Exhibit number 5.
No objection, Mr. Goodman.
No.
May I
They are
urge?
admitted. Thank you.
Ms. Adelson, prior to ordering commissary for this woman who attacked you, were you getting commissary for yourself?
So I have an account, and you can buy up to $40 a week of food, and so I use that account to buy food, but not what she wanted. She wanted packages.
Okay, let's make sure the court understands. When you say buy food, is there normal commissary through the jail where you were getting your commissary?
Yes.
Okay, and that's what you were spending $40 a week on for yourself?
Paramore, yes.
Okay, and what kind of items are you buying for yourself off of that?
I try to get some protein. I buy tuna fish with mayonnaise and
substitute meals, if you will?
Yes.
Okay, no noodles of any kind?
No.
Okay, all right. Now, is there a separate way that you can order commissary on the outside for in?
But she goes, well, I buy Butterfingers, Snickers bar. I try to get some protein. I say, protein, come to me, protein. I need you, protein. Tuna fish with mayonnaise now, in place of my medications.
Yeah, okay. I can't do that. It would have to be ordered from somebody. You have to ask somebody outside to place the order.
Okay, and when you referred to packages, is that the method that the woman who attacked you said she wanted you to get for her?
That's what she asked me to get her, yes.
Okay, and these packages cost about $40 each, is that correct?
$40 and then $10 for packaging or shipping, so it's $50 a package.
Okay, and during the course of your time in the annex, while you were still in the annex, on just about every week, did she continue to find you in the bathroom?
Don't you worry, Mimi, RN38. We've got a real nice thing coming on this subject. I might have to. It's getting late already. You know, I might have to not do a live tonight. I mean, we're doing one right now, so you know, I do have to do some post-production work. Let's see where we get to. It doesn't look like today's hearing is going to be posted anytime. Well, it'll be posted soon, but I don't think it's going to be in the next moments. So let's see what happens.
And demand what packages that you would get ordered for her.
Yes, she must have been keeping an eye on me, but when I was in the bath, those are the only times she would approach me is in the bathroom, and she would tell me what she wanted for that week.
And did you make those orders through your husband?
I called my husband.
I want the beef noodles, okay? I want beef and tomato noodles, shrimp noodles, and chow mein noodles this week, okay? I want a tuna fish pouch. I want 6 tuna fish pouch. What else did I get? I want 11 apples. 11 apples, chow mein noodles, and 6 tuna fish pouch.
I didn't tell him what happened. I just called him and said, you know, honey, I want some extra food. Would you mind ordering some packages for me? And he said, sure, honey. And he did.
And he did that. And at the time that your normal canteen or commissary would be delivered, is that when the extra packages would be delivered as well?
Yes, all at the same time.
Okay, and in the course of things, you would go pick up your canteen.
Patsy Klein, great comment again. Hey, Donna, stay out of the utility rooms. They store brooms in there. That's dark.
And then
but
her
funny.
extra packages, is that right?
Yes.
And where did you keep her items when you got back to the annex?
So it was, you have to carry your bin up, and they put the package, they open up a plastic bag and they loosely put all the stuff in the bin. So it was all in a bin that I would stack and put under my bed.
Okay, and did you keep her eye care packages separated from your canteen?
Yes.
Okay. And how is it that she would receive her packages? How did she get the food?
So she would send, I used to say her minions. She used to pick different girls to come over to me, and they would say, package up 4 soups and 3 bags of chips. And the first time I didn't know what she wanted me to do, and she said, it's for, and she'd mention her name. And I said, well, how am I supposed to do that? She said, just put it in your shirt, I'll meet you in the bathroom. So I would load these things in the top of my shirt, and I would hold the bottom of my shirt like this so that nothing would fall out, and I'd go to the bathroom, and then somebody would follow me in there, and she would take it out, transfer it into her shirt, and walk away.
And that continued from the time that she first yanked your arm behind your back in October all the way?
Yes, Harley D. The hearing happened this afternoon, but the video was not streamed live by the major networks. We're waiting to see if the on-demand version comes on. Of course, the hearing was the defense's renewed motion in limine for precluding the state from questioning Wendi Adelson about the storyline of her book. I can't imagine that Judge Everett is, but you know, saying that our poll is less decisive than it was. We've had 215 votes on the poll. Will Judge Everett prohibit the state from questioning Wendi about her book? 14% say yes, and 86% say no. Please do, if you haven't voted already on our poll, have your say. Let us know what you're thinking. I can't imagine that Judge Everett is going to say, hey, state, Miss Dugan, you're not questioning Wendi about her book. I just can't imagine that's going to happen. But we'll be finding out soon enough here on True Crime Metrix.
So you were put into protective custody, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. When you got into protective custody, in fact, did you receive your last packages for her?
So the last package came. I was put into protective custody on a Monday, and Tuesday the commissary came with those packages and brought them to me.
Okay. And do you have that extra food in your protective custody room now?
They're sitting there. I don't eat that stuff, so it's all sitting on top of my bunk.
It's made up of noodles and chips and things of that nature. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. I want to talk briefly about...
She sleeps on a pile of noodles and chips.
Your time in protective custody. How big is the room that you're in?
6 by 9.
Okay. And are you in this room by yourself?
Yes.
And is the door, with the exception of when they allow you to come out, is the door kept closed all of the time?
Yeah.
6 by 9. That'd be about a quarter of the square footage of her bathroom in the icon.
It's supposed to be kept closed.
Okay, all right. And you're given, I'm kind of leading here, Judge, to try and get us through this, but you're allowed to come out of that room 1 hour per day on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you get to come out for 20 minutes. Is that right?
20 minutes.
Okay. And on the weekends, you don't get to come out?
Not at all.
Okay. Make sure you don't talk over me, okay?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We're talking over each other.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So Saturday and Sunday, you don't come out at all. During your hour 3 days a week and your 20 minutes 2 days a week, is that when you are given the opportunity to take a shower?
Yes.
If you have time to walk, that's when you walk?
So on an hour a day, I'll walk for 40 minutes or about, and then I'll take my shower at the ends of that, so I get my shower in.
Okay, and laundry also, that's what you use that time for?
Yes.
Other than that, you're locked inside that room?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now, it was your understanding when you were put into protective custody that there's not ever supposed to be anybody out around you, is that right?
That's what I was told.
Okay, but protective custody is actually attached to a pod, is it not?
Yes.
And what pod is that?
M-pod, like Mary.
Okay. At some point, did you learn...
It's Mike, Donna Adelson, not Mary. It's M like Mike, as in microphone. Not a guy called Mike. Not hot Mike, a hot guy called Mike, like some people say. Hot Mike, M-I-C, not M-I-C-K. And you did well earlier with the letter N as in November, but you messed up on the letter M as in Mike.
That this individual who attacked you was also, at least for some period of...
One Pariah 67 says, sorry, I know she's presumed innocent till proven guilty in a court of law, but it's been like 10 years and we've learned a lot. Not on this show, man. She's guilty. Judge Metrix has ruled.
Time in that same area.
I'm not sure where she was. She might have been.
Okay.
I didn't see her.
You didn't see her?
I heard that she was there, but I didn't see her.
Okay. Now, you have testified earlier that different guards have kind of different rules that they follow inside the jail. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay. During the time that you've been in protective custody, when you were told you should not be around anyone else in the pod or otherwise, have there been times when...
Ooh, good burn, Christina. Still more roomy than Dan's coffin. This is Donna compared to Donna Adelson's solitary confinement cell, which is 6 by 9. Yeah, what would Dan's coffin be? 6 by 2, if that.
And guards would have you around other inmates?
Yes.
Okay. Was there an occasion where another girl came and knocked on your door wanting you to give her food?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, okay. And what happened when you said you would give her food?
I said I would...
Patsy Cline's really good with the humor tonight. Old people shouldn't take showers every day, Donna. Dries out your skin. Dries your skin out even more. Lord knows you don't need that too, right?
I have all that extra food. I don't mind giving it to people.
Okay. And so how are you going to give it to her?
Well, that's what I said to her. How am I going to get this to you? And so she gave the guard a high sign, and the guard buzzed the door open, and it was her and a friend of hers, the two of them, and they'd only stepped in my foot, came in, and I gave them some soups.
Okay. Is that the only time that you've been around other people since you've been put in protective custody, or have there been other situations?
I gave them some soups. Can we do a merch product out of that? I gave them some soups. I'm putting it on the list.
It was like yesterday, the officer buzzed my door, so I guess there was something she wanted me to do, so I opened my door, and I came out, and there were maybe, I don't know, half a dozen girls watching TV. I walked past them, and I asked the officer, what did you want? And she said, Miss Adelson, I didn't mean to buzz you, just go back to your room. I said, okay. So I turned around and went back.
Okay. We have to move along a little bit faster here. So one of the things that's been a big for you is lack of sleep. So we're going to just kind of go through this quickly for the court. But you testified previously that the nighttime medications come between 11:30 p.m. and 1:30 or 2 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And part of the nighttime medications that you get, is there something in there to assist you to go to sleep?
Yes.
Okay. And then you get the medication. About how long after that is it before you can go to sleep?
From the time I get it, probably a half hour.
Okay. All right. And what time are you woken up for breakfast?
Between 3 and 3:30. Okay. Last night was 3:10. Just within that half-hour range is when it comes.
Okay. And once you're woken up for breakfast, are you capable of going back to sleep?
No.
Have you tried to go back to sleep?
Oh, my God. Yes, I try.
So that period of that time that you get from the time you fall asleep after your night meds until you're woken up for breakfast, that's the only sleep that you're getting while you're incarcerated?
That's it.
How has that affected you?
So, listen, I know older people don't need as much sleep as younger people, but I need more than 2 hours a night. I need more than a good night is 3. One night I had 3.5 hours. It's not enough sleep to stay focused. I mean, I feel like I'm foggy sometimes because I'm just sleepy, I'm tired, and I can't go to sleep. They've got people screaming and yelling. They bang on the doors, they shake the doors, it sounds like a drum in there, it's horrible. So I can't sleep with all that noise going on.
Okay. Do you have legal documents that we have provided to you or prior counsel has provided to you that you need to review to assist in the preparation of your defense?
Say that to me again.
Sure. Do you keep legal documents with you that you're supposed to be reviewing to assist to prepare for your defense?
Sure. I've got two bins full of them.
Okay. Are you having difficulty completing the tasks that we're asking you to do because of your lack of sleep?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I want to talk to you for just a second. You're able to make calls to your lawyers off of your tablet, correct?
Yes.
And those are supposed to be attorney-client privilege calls, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and they're not recorded according to what's said on the recording when you make the calls, is that right?
That's right.
During the time that you were in the annex, were you in a situation where you could be away from everybody so that you could make those calls without anyone hearing?
No, I had to make the calls under my blanket because you couldn't hear me. I certainly couldn't hear you. So I would go under my blanket with the tablet and I would call you that way.
That didn't keep the other inmates who were standing right next to you from hearing?
It is what it is.
Okay. Was there a time when you and I were speaking and when you pulled the cover athlete guard there listening to your call?
Yes, there was.
Okay. And during the time that you and I are having conversations, do you also experience the same kind of problems with the phone that you had heard that Charlie had while talking to you, where the calls are dropped, etc.?
Yeah, we've had it numerous times.
Okay. Are there times where we're not able to hear each other on phone calls?
Yes.
Is there static on the phone calls?
It's static, and now you've been complaining because I have this shortness of breath, so you say I'm breathing very heavy, and it's hard to hear me.
Okay.
So it's difficult.
All right. Let me ask you a few questions. We're requesting that His Honor allow you to be out on bond pending your trial so that you can assist in the preparation of your defense.
I'm amazed that Judge Everett is letting this go on so long. I mean, it must be really tedious to be a judge sometimes.
If His Honor ordered that you reside here in Leon County and not leave Leon County until the conclusion of the trial, would you agree?
Yeah, right, Derek. Put her in an El Salvador prison. The kind of prison where they just lock the doors and leave the inmates to themselves, right?
Do that?
Yes, of course.
If he placed you on an electronic monitor, would you agree to take that?
Yes.
Okay. If he required that you have a curfew from 7 o'clock at night until 7 o'clock in the morning, would you comply with the curfew?
I would do that.
Do you have the ability to do these things?
Yes.
Okay. You have the ability to get housing here in Tallahassee where you could live with your husband?
Sure.
Okay. And if he said that, you can leave...
Yeah, we're going to rent a house on Trescott Drive or Aqua Ridge Way.
Outside of the curfew, you can leave to go meet with your lawyers, medical appointments if you need medical appointments, coming to court, those type of things. Would you comply with those orders as well?
Yes, I'd be grateful just to get a night's sleep. It would be great.
Okay. If he ordered that you had to surrender your...
Donna, we are going to let you out, but on the condition that you stay with Judge Everett at his house.
Driver's license during the pendency from now until the end of the trial and not drive, would you agree to comply with that?
Yes, I would.
Have just one moment, please.
Thank you, Yanev, 1970, or Janev. I'm not sure how you're pronouncing the J in your name. Are you talking about the photographs of Wendi that we posted on our channel page? Because those were not friends of Wendi. Those were clients of Wendi, okay? She may have looked like she was out with the girls, but rest assured, they were paying. Yeah, zoom in on the tissues that haven't been used at all.
Thought I had asked this, but I might not have. For the medical conditions that you have complained of during the time that you were speaking with the doctors and they said that they didn't give you the treatments that you were requesting, did they ever offer that they would have a doctor from the outside perform the treatment for you?
No.
I don't have anything further.
Disturbing cross-examination.
Yes, sir. All right, so the incident in the shower, after you let the inmate know that you did not like what she was doing by telling her to stop, did she ever try that again?
No.
And that inmate's no longer, or you didn't disclose the name of that inmate, but you did tell the investigator that that inmate is no longer in jail with you, right?
She's no longer there. She left shortly after that.
Okay. As far as the arm twist incident from October of 2024, you said you reported that in February of 2025?
Yes.
Okay. And you wouldn't give the name, you said you wouldn't give the name of her to the investigator either, okay?
No.
But you, if you would give her name, that instead of you being separated from the pod, she could be separated from you and you could be back with the general population.
Yeah, but she's not the only one that could hurt me. That's why I wouldn't do it. She had a half a dozen girls that came up to me.
Was there ever any physical violence by her or anyone she's friends with after that October 24 incident?
No, that was it. That's it.
And by being in solitary confinement, does it give you an opportunity to have a quieter space where you can prepare for trial?
I guess it would be a quiet space if I could get some sleep and I would be able to concentrate on what I'm supposed to do. Yes, that would be helpful.
Do you also get in-person visits with your attorney in jail?
I do.
Okay, and when that happens, are you in a room alone with him or her or both?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And y'all are able to have conversations then that are private?
Yes.
For the sciatic nerve, in December of 2024, were you offered a solu-medrol, a steroid injection for that pain that you declined?
I am going to object to the use of the medical records by the state based on a prior objection.
Student, do you have an ability to show that these records were not a part of what was obtained by Investigator Newland that is still disputed?
No, these are part of what was obtained by Investigator Newland, but my understanding is that the defense would have opened the door to this by asking her all of these times she was seen by medical staff and what basically was not done for her.
As to that, I will permit the witness to answer. You may answer, Ms. Adelson.
Could you ask me one more time?
Yes, ma'am. For the sciatic pain that radiates down your right leg, were you offered a solu-medrol, a steroid injection, and then after that a medrol, so a steroid dose pack, that you declined until you were able to speak with your physician?
No, I told her that in the past I had gotten a steroid injection in my spine, and she said, we don't do that. I could offer you, and it was a medrol dose pack, I think.
A solu-medrol injection?
I could offer you that, but we don't do that. And having had sciatica twice in my lifetime, I know what's been done each time, and I know that worked. And so she said, we can't do that. We don't offer that. You would need to see a specialist for that.
Okay. I'm going to show you this page at the encounter from December 13, 2024 at 3:22 p.m. Does it say, offered patient a solu-medrol injection and then starting tomorrow a medrol dose pack? Patient requested decline until she can speak with her physician.
I don't know what a solu-medrol injection, but she told me they don't give steroidal injections in the spine. She says we don't do that, and I don't recall her offering an injection. I do remember she said I could give you other medication, but I've been there. I've done that. I know what happens with sciatica, and I know what needs to be done. That's not going to be the answer.
For your arm and shoulder pain...
Yeah, I'm Donna Adelson, and I don't need to listen to a medical professional. My husband is a dentist, and he knows best.
Isn't it true that you reported you had mild pain in your left arm and shoulder?
No, I heard a gentleman say that before. I couldn't believe it. I told her that I had severe burning pain down the outer part of my arm. I never used the word mild pain. So I don't know where they got that from, but that's not what I said.
Okay. I'm going to show you the encounter from February 3rd, 2025 at 2:29 p.m. Under musculoskeletal, does it say positive for left upper extremity limited ROM range of motion, comma, mild pain?
That's what it says, but that's not what I said. No way is that pain mild.
So that's just what the doctor would have written down, but you're saying that's not what you told the doctor?
I did, had that been given to me and I read it and I had to sign it, I would say I never said this. But I'm telling you, I never said mild pain.
Okay.
It's shooting hot pain down my arm.
For that injury, you did have an x-ray. They did go over that x-ray with you and let you know that there was no fracture or dislocation.
There was no fracture, that's what she told me. I didn't think it was a fracture. No.
Or dislocation of your shoulder or arm?
No, there's just pain.
And they also went over your chest x-ray results with you to let you know that your chest x-ray appeared clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll have a curfew between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. meaning that she can be out of the house, leave the house at 7 in the morning and not return until 7 at night. I mean, that isn't that what most people are out less than that, right? Even when they work full time. I mean, I used to leave at 8 in the morning and be back at 6 in the evening. Right? That's 10 hours. She wants 12.
You ultimately received the Band-Aid and Neosporin for the cut on your elbow?
Yes, I got that on Saturday. When did I get that? On Monday.
Okay, so within a day or two of the cut occurring?
Yes.
And you said that if you are given a bond, you will reside in Tallahassee, you will follow court orders. But when you were afraid of being arrested, right, Charlie Adelson's trial, isn't it true that you hoped that you could get to the airport before you were arrested?
I wasn't afraid of being arrested.
What were you trying to get to the airport in time for? In that jail cell?
My husband and I were literally shocked and traumatized at what had happened to Charlie. And he said, we need to just get some peace. We need to catch our breath. We're going to go away somewhere. And I thought it was a good idea because I couldn't think straight. I really couldn't think straight. I was so upset, and so was he.
Yeah, we needed to get some peace, following Charlie's trial. The stress, it was just so stressful. So we thought, definitely go and get some peace. And then we got a map of the world, and we looked at the map of the world, and we said, hey, what about a non-extradition country that doesn't have any return policy for the United States, to get peace?
And it was his idea. He said, sweetheart, let's go, just get away. We're going to just get away somewhere so we could have some time to think.
Yeah. We looked at a brochure for Vietnam. It said, come to Vietnam, where we have wonderful food, a rich and vibrant culture, and no extradition treaty. Fantastic hotels, wonderful nature, and no extradition treaty. And we thought that was best, to get peace after the stress of Charlie's trial.
Okay, so your testimony is that you weren't trying to go to Vietnam because you wouldn't be able to be extradited from there.
No. It wasn't for that. We thought if we go to a non-extradition country and there's a call for us to be arrested, we'll be able to return quicker to the US to face justice, right? If we're in a country with an extradition treaty with the United States of America, we'll be arrested and be held up in jail for 6 months in some third world country, right? We thought, how can we do this efficiently to face justice? Well, if we go to a country that doesn't have an extradition treaty with America, we'll be able to get on the first flight home rather than going through the process of a third world justice system, being held. And, it'll just be the smoothest way possible to return to trial.
My husband actually had said, we've been to Vietnam before with friends. We were on vacation, and it really was like a place of peace. And so he said, if we go to a non-extradition country, then if the law enforcement decided that they wanted to arrest you or me, whatever, both, he said, we won't be sitting in a foreign prison waiting months to go back. We can buy a ticket and we can go home. And my understanding was that I could go home and I could turn myself in if that's what they wanted.
Okay. But you were hoping to make it out of America in time before you were arrested, right?
I wanted to get away. He wanted to get away. That's what we wanted to do. And it wasn't, we spoke.
Okay. By my calculations, Harvey Adelson was 25 years old in 68. So in 63, he would have been, what? 25 and 68 minus 5. He would have been 20 years old in 63, 25 and 68. He is prime fucking Vietnam War material, right? Do you think he went? Harvey, you could have been there on 2 tours, man.
Spoke to our attorneys. I asked them. They said there's no pending. We purposely called them to make sure it was legal to do it, and they said there's no. What were their words? There's no pending charges and there's no warrants. So you want to go, go. And so you ask your attorneys, and they tell you that. I'm going.
But Dan did tell you, as you say in the jail call, that knowing what they're thinking up there, I don't know if you'll make it out in time. I really don't. But that he said you might, or you might get to the airport and they'll stop you. It could happen.
That's what he said.
Right. So you went to the airport knowing that they could stop you at the airport. You could end up being arrested.
Yeah, that's what Dan said.
Right. And when you were looking at places to go a couple of days after Charlie Adelson's trial, you were specifically looking, though, for countries that did not have extradition with the U.S.
For the reason
See you later, Mimi.
Told you.
Right. And the reason that you're
Thanks
saying
for
that
coming.
you were looking for countries with no extradition was so that you could get back faster in order to be arrested in the U.S.
No, that's not what I said. It's because, I don't know, maybe we watch too much TV or too many movies, but I've seen movies where people are stuck in like third world prisons and waiting and waiting and waiting. And my feeling was, this is not what we want to happen. If the state says they want us to come back, we'll buy a ticket, we'll come back on our own terms. We don't have to be else somewhere. We'll come back home and turn ourselves in.
Couldn't you have done that no matter what country you went to?
Yeah, go to Norway, Donna. Go to Norway.
No.
No?
No.
You couldn't have found out that you had a warrant for your arrest and come back if there was an extradition
Well,
policy?
not if they would. I'm not in law enforcement, but it appears that they would notify law enforcement in that country, and then they could hold you in a jail for God knows how long. And I didn't want that to happen. So he said, well, that's why we'll do it this way, honey. That way, if they do notify us, so we get a phone call from our attorney or from law enforcement, then we'll buy a ticket, we'll go home.
Okay.
And so it would have been on our terms. That was the point. That was the reason that he thought that was a good idea.
And your
Before you continue, Ms. Dugan, we are over time. If you please can get to your most pertinent questions.
Yes, sir. I guess your testimony ultimately, though, is that you were not trying to go to a country with no extradition because you were trying to avoid being held accountable for this charge. That's your testimony?
I didn't do this.
Okay.
Being held accountable for this is not what happened.
Being arrested for this case.
Being arrested?
Right. That was not what you were trying to avoid by trying to go to a non-extradition country.
We were trying to get our heads on straight and just breathe.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Any redirect examination for Mrs. Adelson?
Just one question, Judge.
You may proceed.
The testimony was you were offered an X-ray. You were never offered an MRI for your shoulder, were you?
No.
Thank you.
You may step down, Mrs. Adelson. Deputy, please assist.
Mind how you go. Don't trip over your leg shackles.
Does the defense have any other documents or evidence or witnesses that it intends to present?
And what is this with the guards here? Why are they being so... Like, she can fucking walk, okay? She can get up out of a chair and walk back to the fucking defense table easy. What is this thing with the guards? Has that been ordered or what?
I don't have any other witnesses that I want to present. We did follow
Not guards, bailiffs, deputies, whatever.
a request to take judicial notice of the motion and order in the Adam Frash case where a request was made in a charge of first-degree murder for a bond for Mr. Frash, and that was granted, has Your Honor.
Adam Frash, that was Georgia Kappelman too, wasn't it?
I had an opportunity to review that.
I did. The records of the circuit court, they don't have to be judicially noticed. What the other judges have done in the past certainly are a matter of record. Procedurally, we are in a different posture than Dr. Frash was, than your client, but any argument that you believe is reasonable, you may make concerning it.
Okay, the only other thing I wanted to do, Your Honor, is as an officer of the court, I wanted to represent. We attempted to obtain a copy of a no-fly order because that letter was received after Mrs. Adelson was taken into custody. And the only response we were able to get was that there's not from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security Traveler Redress Inquiry Program, was that there's not an open dispute of a no-fly order. So I didn't want there to appear to be a misrepresentation by myself in the motion and us not being able to present anything to the court. That's as much as they would say in response to our request. And then finally, I was glad to see that Mr. Google here is present, and I'm sorry I don't remember he's under sheriff, I think, now, Mr. Google, in charge of the jail, and I just wanted to represent to the
Mr.
court
Google.
that I did inquire about outside care, and the reason I questioned the witness about additional care from other doctors is I did inquire as to whether we could have her taken to see other doctors to get treatment that she could not get in the jail, and Mr. Google advised me that with a court order that could take place.
Okay, wrap
We
it
were
up,
never
Jackie.
advised that without a court
I'm
order,
waiting to
she was
eat.
able to get medical treatment that she was requesting.
Ms. Dugan, you may respond to the bond motion.
That was on just normal speed. It sounded like it was on 1.25 speed.
And present any evidence you have concerning presumption of guilt evident or, proof of guilt evident or presumption. Great, go ahead.
I have two very
Proof of guilt evident or presumption great. I got to write that down again. Proof, what was it? Proof of guilt evidence or presumption great. That's the standard of the Arthur hearing. And I like it, it's just worded nicely.
quick witnesses as to the medical or to the security concerns, practices, State College Chelsea Wilson.
Okay, that's it. We've had enough now. I'm going to check one more time if these goddamn networks have put up the content. I don't think they have. We're going to have to come back for today's hearing, but that's okay. It was a short hearing. I imagine it was Judge Everett saying no to the defense renewed motion in limine to preclude the state from questioning Wendi Adelson about the content and storyline of her book, This Is Our Story. We'll find out and we'll be back. Let's just double check the networks again. Court TV, nope. Law and Crime, nope. Tallahassee Democrat, no. Okay. Hold fire on that one, guys. When are we back? Will we be back later this evening? Possibly. Maybe. I need to make some phone calls and find out what is going on in other areas. But we do also have some post-production work to do on a video that we're bringing out very soon. So I may have to do that, seeing as this live went on for way longer than anticipated. But I might change my mind and suddenly put a live stream on with no notice, as usual. So you'll just have to wait and see. Stay on your toes, guys. For now, we're going to say thank you to everybody in chat. Thank you to everyone not in chat. Thank you to all the supporters, especially our king of supporters today, Matthew K., who became a lifetime member on buymeacoffee.com. Thank you so much, Matthew K., and to all our other supporters as well, but especially to the big man, Matthew K. Yeah, and thank you to the Metrix, bulletproof Metrix moderators, as usual. We're going to see you real soon, guys. We're going to see you real soon. And we don't know when that'll be, but we're going to be back with our big, long, slow haul walk through, long haul, slow walk through the Catherine Magbanua retrial from 2022. We'll be starting off with the testimony of Wendi Adelson, moving on to her cross, followed by the testimonies of Jeff Lacasse, and then it's back on to, you know, your more standard murder witnesses, leading up to, including but not limited to, Catherine Magbanua herself, questioned by the pitbull Sarah Dugan on the witness stand. And there's some other great witnesses as well, you know. When we go back and watch Catherine's trial, usually the focus is on Jeffrey Lacasse, Wendi Adelson, Catherine Magbanua, right? We forget about all the other witnesses. And as we know, we pick up bits and pieces that we've all forgotten about. I think this thing of going through the entire trial bit by bit, even though there might be a bit of a lull here and there in the pace, it's important to do. You know, people can come and go as they like, but for me, I've got to go through the whole thing. We're going to do the same thing with Charlie's trial after, at some point, maybe not straight away, because we'll get into more focused material. Also coming out are our concept videos real soon. You via dinner, Father's Day 2014, and what was the other one? The Yardbird dinner special, right? Yardbird special, you via dinner, Father's Day 2014. Look out for our concept videos on True Crime Metrix YouTube channel and social networks. Check those out in the description for the video. For now, we're going to say peace, good night, enjoy your dinner, and come back real soon. See you later, guys. Oh, we don't. Okay, well, where is our goddamn video? Hang on, we've got to add it again. Got to add it again. You see, now my outro is completely ruined. I was just moving around some of these video files. Yeah, keep having to clear out these hard drives. But that's okay. It's part of what we do. Well, it's not there. It doesn't matter. No outro music for you. True Crime